And welcome inside Delaware Live Sports. Nick Alessandrini alongside my partner, the coach Bill Harmon. Pat Garanis in the middle of production today. Nick Halliday on top of the booth, and we are live at Odessa High School here in a little bit down more south than we're typically used to going, Coach. And an exciting one here in Class 1A. Both of these teams battling for playoff spot, maybe that final playoff spot in the class. And it's the Odessa Ducks here at home. It's their first ever homecoming, and they welcome in the Polytech Panthers.
Well, this is really a great environment. Terrific to be back with you guys. I've missed you. I think this is going to be a fun event. Two pretty well-matched teams. We'll get into that as we go through the show. But I think this has got to be a great environment for the fans of Odessa and the players. The environment, it's their first homecoming, as you mentioned. Obviously, there's nobody to come home because they still have freshmen and sophomores, and next year they'll add a class, and then they'll add a class. But this school is already 600 strong. I saw this program in the summer down at a 7-on-7 tournament, and they have some really nice athletes. They were doing some good things. Their head coach, Dan Pritchard's been around a long time. I have a lot of respect for him, and he's really going to do a good job here building a program. And it's got to be pretty unique to take something over from the ground up. You decide everything, what the color of your uniforms are, what your dummies look like. So there's nothing that's happened here before. You're setting the tone, and then you can set the tone with your players as well. So I think Odessa is a program that's going to be on the up and up. And Poly, who've been down a little bit, but this move into this class, as you just iterated, I think is going to help them. And this is a program that in the past has been very tough. They've been physical, and now I think they're rebuilding this program, and we'll see how this game works out tonight. But Odessa, great environment for this program.
And you mentioned head coach Dan Pritchard. He said we're building this on the foundation of three different things: being humble, hungry, and smart. And again, they are very excited for this phenomenal environment and event they've got here, homecoming at Odessa. And the Ducks, they'll kick off to get things started. The Panthers back to receive. It's the quarterback, number 3, Vinny Orlando. You'll see a lot of him tonight. He's going to be the kicker. He's the quarterback. You'll see him all over the field. And Polytech set to receive back there. It's Amir Jenkins, the junior, and Bruno Nyandemo, the junior, number 7, one of their players to watch. And we are underway here at Odessa. Orlando kicks it off. It's going to bounce into the hands of Bruno Nyandemo, and he's wrapped up at the 35, and that's where the Panthers will begin this opening drive.
Odessa chooses to defer. They kick off, ball in the second half. They kick from the right hash as they look at it. You do that in order to try to pin the team down into a compressed space. You can get pretty good coverage. Sometimes you'll put 5x5. They were using a 4x6. Alignment with their 10 people. You cannot have more than 6 to one side. They did a nice job there with coverage since the kick only went to the 20-yard line.
Two of the players to watch for the Polytech Panthers are the running backs, number 7, Bruno Nyandemo, and number 11, Demarion Lee. You'll see them all over the offense. And 1st and 10 as the Panthers get this drive started from the 35. This time they're going to turn and hand off around to Tizon Trotter, who came on the end around, and he's got first down yardage on the first play of the game, and a good play for the Panthers, but I believe some laundry down on the field.
Now, Hold is unfortunately going to bring this back. They start out in what we call a tight slot to each side situation. They run the reverse, slot reverse, as you mentioned. Odessa was in an odd man front. They were angling to field. That allowed the play to develop into the boundary. A nice call on first down.
And the quarterback for the Polytech Panthers, that's number 3, Isaac Balsarak. He's just a freshman. So like you said, Coach, in the intro, a lot of youth out there on the field tonight between obviously Odessa here at their homecoming and the Polytech Panthers. But again, both teams 2-4 on the season, but a chance now at that new realignment to maybe crack the playoffs. Both of these teams battling to get in there.
Well, it's got to be really a neat goal for both of these programs. Not only are you in a situation where you've got, I would say, the same level of play for the most part, but you've got an opportunity to play in the postseason. Anytime you have that, I think it's very motivating for your program and very motivating for the community that you're in. Same set, and we'll mention that they're using a pistol, which is the quarterback's about 3 yards behind the center and a back line behind him.
Balsarak going to roll out to his right, overthrew his intended target, and that pass might have been intercepted in and out of the hands of the sophomore Jordan Earl in the secondary as Balsarak was looking for Bruno Nyandemo.
They roll Balsarak out to the right. They were using an out fade concept. He threw the out just a little high. It was almost intercepted with good coverage by Odessa behind. That was only going to work out to be about a 5-yard play. But Balzarak, a big young freshman. He's got good size, a strong arm. I watched him in warm-ups. He can throw it around. That time just a little high with his first throw of the game.
Again, out of the pistol will be the Panthers' 2nd and 8. Ball at the 36-yard line. Motion. Balsarak going to turn and give to the right side. Nowhere to run for Damarion Lee. And that's going to be right back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and long upcoming for the Panthers.
Since they don't have any seniors or juniors, that is their kind of quasi-senior. He's a sophomore, and that's Ethan Van Berkom. Did a nice job there of coming in from his left defensive end position to make the tackle. They're using an odd front, but it's an over front for some reason. They're setting it into the boundary, and they have blitzed on 2 of the first 3 plays.
Here we go, 3rd and long for the Panthers. Back in the pistol, Balsarak in the shotgun. Takes the snap, going to step back, launch it deep. One-on-one coverage on the outside. And great defense on the back end by the Odessa Ducks as that pass falls incomplete.
That time, Polytech widens out their slots. They were tight before, about 2 yards from the tackles. Now they go out 6 to 7 yards. It's more of an open set, still stayed in pistol. Tried to take a shot down the field. Excellent coverage there, and we're going to talk about this young man quite a bit tonight. Vincent Orlando was in great coverage to deny any sort of big play over the top early on.
So the first play from scrimmage went for about 12 yards and a first down, came back for a penalty, and then 3 straight plays, no yards gained for the Panthers, so they have to punt it away. Orlando's going to intelligently let that one take a bounce, and it's going to roll a Polytech roll to the 20-yard line, and that's where we'll get our first look at the Odessa Ducks offense.
I think almost everybody uses, if they don't have an Australian punter, they still use a rollout or a rugby style now. You seem to see that at every level. Even in the pros are beginning to do that. A nice job there. Rolls right, gets 20, maybe 25-plus yards of roll. The kick only carried about 20 yards and then has additional roll. Those kind of punts have to be fielded, or if nothing else, get behind it so it doesn't continue to roll against you. Tough field position here for Odessa's first drive.
1st and 10, again going to start this one at their own 21. 10:49 still remaining here in our opening quarter. And thanks for joining us on Delaware Live. Under center now is Vinny Orlando. Going to turn, give up the middle, and going to be able to pick up a few yards that time is Chase Beline on first down.
Well, Chase Beline is the son of the terrific defensive line coach at the University of Delaware, who are playing JMU, and I think Nick and you and I might be there tomorrow to watch that game and to call it. But Laverne's got to be very proud of his son. He is only a freshman. Coach Pritchett really raved about him, what a tough runner he was, and he showed off some good skill there on that first run, lowering his shoulders and completing it.
Give him 3, 2nd and 7. They're going to turn and give it back to him on 2nd down. This time the Panthers were ready for it. Maybe picked up 1 or 2 on 2nd, sets up 3rd and manageable here for the Odessa Ducks.
Odessa runs a hybrid wing T. We'll see a couple setbacks. You'll see a wing, sometimes a slot. I think their basic philosophy is wing T, and then they've expanded from that. But when you have a runner like Beline, you really want to take advantage of him. We'll see some counters. We'll see some outside runs. And for a freshman, he runs very well inside as he can do.
This time they're going to turn and quick toss it to the outside, try to get in the hands of Jabari McBean as he tried to get to the sideline, unable to do so. Polytech able to contain, and now 4th down upcoming for Odessa after a loss of 2.
Well, Polytech did a great job there in terms of team defensive scheme. They set an edge. They sent the runner back to the inside as the linebackers were coming. And that's something at times this fall Polytech has not done a good job with their outside contains. They've given up some big plays. So this coaching staff, especially the defensive side, have done a nice job of improving that aspect of it.
So Odessa set to punt it away. Back to punt it was Vinny Orlando. Gets it off. That one almost blocked. As going to let it take a roll, and this one going to get to around the 24-yard line. So a pretty good punt for Vinny Orlando, and Polytech going to start this drive in similar positioning as they did their opening drive.
Well, Amir Jenkins was deep. He's a junior for Polytech. He probably could have made a play on that, but I will say sometimes when you're in a stadium that's got new lights, especially if they're low, and these are just a little bit lower here, but the lighting is fine on the entire field, you get a little bit of an issue with having to figure out exactly where the ball is. So I think Jenkins did a good job there of not trying to catch it where it would have been a muff. Decent coverage there as well by Odessa.
1st and 10 from the 25, second drive of the ball game for the Panthers. Back in the pistol they go as Balsarek sits in the shotgun. Some movement up front. No whistle, a hard count now from Polytech. And here's the snap. They're going to turn and give up the middle. And able to pick up a good chunk there on first down at about 5 or 6 yards. I believe was number 11, Demarion Lee.
So many teams in today's football world spread you to run you. They compress you to run outside and throw the ball. Polytech that time had trips to one side, a single wide receiver to the other, and yet they run inside zone up the middle. So good strategy by Polytech's offensive staff. Spread you and then try to hit one up inside.
Demarion Lee's the back in the pistol again here. This time they're going to take it out of the shotgun and hand it off to Trotter. It was coming in motion, and lucky if they got one on the carry, and another third down and a few yards upcoming for the Panthers.
The second tackle on the edge by Ethan Van Berkom for Odessa. They had flipped him this time. Now he's to the defensive right side, steps up, takes on the blocker with the inside shoulder. Did a great job there, not only of setting the edge, but shedding his block and making the tackle. So a nice defensive play there by this young Odessa team.
Third and a few yards upcoming. Need about 3 for the first down. Got to get to the 35. Again, the Panthers in the pistol. And now some movement out of the slot as Bruno Nyandemo jumped a little early. That's going to make this third down a little bit tougher.
Might be the excitement of the night, the energy here, but unfortunately sometimes when you're out wide, you tend to rely on your ears versus turning and looking in. Most teams nowadays, you'll see the outside receivers, even if they're close to the formation, will look in. Sometimes, number one, you might anticipate. Number two, even when you hear it and you're expanded, you'll move a little too early. So that time, unfortunately, at 3rd and 2, they get the penalty, and that's what happens to some of these teams to really frustrate the coaching staff.
3rd and 7 now. Balsarek going to roll out of the pocket. Has his man who makes the catch, and that's going to be for a first down. And he shedded a tackle. That's Tizon Trotter, who was on the jet sweep a few plays ago. We've got our first down of the ball game and a pickup of about 15.
They continue to move Balsarek to the field, sprinting him out to the right. That time a very accurate throw on the move, and a nice move after the catch. Put his hand down, was able to get some additional yardage. So this, now that they've run the ball a couple times from the wider set, now they're compressing them and they're throwing the ball.
Back in the pistol, turn, going to give up the middle once again to Demarion Lee. Makes one tackler miss, and then great gang tackle from Odessa as they're able to make the play there for no gain.
Well, Odessa's getting at least 7, about 7.5 in the box. They're filling every gap using this over odd front. And they've been able to really surprise, I think, Polytech with the way they've set the edges, but also their insertions into their fits to deny that run game. And when you are as a runner and you hit the hole, many times when there's a man on the outside, you'll try to bounce, and that's probably not the right decision to make. Just get what you can.
Pistol, 2nd and 9 after the game of 1. Balsarek going to throw, looking for Jalen Anderson off his fingertips and almost intercepted as that ball was tipped up into the air. Incomplete, 3rd down and long.
Balsarek's a big man. At times I have noticed that he doesn't really bend and flex his front knee into his throw. That's why he's going to be high with it. That time he was. And that's a dangerous spot to be high, because when you run those in-breaking routes, if you tip the ball, there's almost always a safety or a soft corner behind you looking for that, what I would call a cheap interception.
3rd and long for the Panthers. You hear the Odessa crowd getting into it here. You hear the let's go defense chants here out in front of us. 3rd and 10. Motion out of the pistol. Balsarek going to deep toss it over to Bruno Nyandemo, and he's wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a tackle for loss there from the Ducks, and punt unit coming on once again for the Panthers.
Well, that's David Johnson, and we've heard a lot of really good things about the sophomore. He runs well, he plays offense, he plays defense. This young man never comes off the field. A nice open field tackle as he was working down from a safety position.
So 4th and 10, Coach, here. 5:50 remaining in our opening quarter. Ball at the Polytech 43, and they're set to boot it away for the second time tonight. And the punt is out and going to take a hop to the 30 as Polytech will tap it at the 28-yard line. So the Odessa Ducks offense back out onto the field to begin this one from their own 28.
When you digest a scouting report as a punt returner, you've got to be told exactly where to stand on the type of punt that you're probably going to receive. And when you get a rugby kick, it's almost always going to act as if it's going to the right. It will probably not have as much height as other kicks. It tends to go lower. So you want to probably push up another 10 yards, and that's been one of the reasons the ball's been hitting on the ground early and rolling against them. Plus, you run into the issue where it might be hitting an anti-gunner as they're trying to get a block for the returner.
Odessa looking to the sideline here, 1st and 10 from their own 28. Again, Orlando under center. He's going to turn and toss it to the outside. Into the hands of Chase Boline, as you said, and he's got some yardage in front of him. Give him about 17 on the first down carry, and the first down for Odessa on that one.
I think Danny Pritchard's stealing a page from Jared Ambrose, the offensive coordinator of the University of Delaware. Maybe Laverne had a little something to do with that, but they went unbalanced to field. They were able to out-leverage them, a nice toss, and a great finish to the run by Beelan.
And now the up-tempo going to get right back on it, no huddle. Another quick toss, this time to the left side. And not a lot of running room there on first down. The carry went to number 7, Mackenzie Keating, the sophomore.
Keating is their leading rusher with 186 yards, averaging 8.5 per carry. And I like this. They're doing a check with me. It's a no-huddle situation. The line's always at the line of scrimmage. They get the call from the sideline. The backs, receivers, and quarterbacks make the adjustments. They can put pressure on going quick, and they're not able to allow Polytech to sub.
This time play action for Vinny Orlando trying to set up a screen, and they get it to the running back, Bellamy, who makes a defender miss and has another first down and a pickup of about 9.
Well, Azir Bellamy is a really good athlete. He is a good defensive player. He can run the ball. He can act as a receiver. Nice little play-action pass there, a nice fake that holds the linebackers at bay, and then they get him out into the right flat.
Another first down for Odessa, trying to keep this drive rolling here as they're into Polytech territory. This time they're going to hand it to the up back. That's Bellamy again, and he's got space in front of him, carrying some Panther defenders down inside the 10 to about the 6, and the Ducks are rolling.
Orlando does a really nice job there with his footwork. That is what we would call an old fullback base blocking play. There was no trap. He just hits the hole, one-on-one blocking up front. An outstanding job by Bellamy to hit the hole and get extra yardage.
Again, they're going to go up-tempo, no huddle. As again, they tried to get it to go up the middle on the handoff, I believe. And nowhere to go there, so 2nd and goal.
That was an unbelievably compressed set there by... And it reminded me of Smyrna in there. What do they call that? Earthquake down there?
Yeah, that's right.
I call it it's a really compressed physical set where they want to run the ball up the middle. They attack you there a few times, and then they bounce outside. So Danny Pritchard stealing a lot of different things from people's playbooks. He's got Smyrna, he's got the U of D, and they look really sharp right now.
2nd and goal. This time it's the quarterback, Orlando. After the fake, tries to get to the edge, but the Panthers do a good job of containing him again, and he's going to be taken down maybe for a loss if he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Orlando's a good runner. His accuracy will come up as he moves along in his career. It's now just a little below 50%, but I like the way he runs this team. He's doing a nice job of orchestrating the quicker tempo and then getting them the right sets. So a nice job by the sophomore Orlando at quarterback for Odessa.
Coach Dan Pritchard very high on Vinny Orlando. Again, talked about him earlier this week, said he's going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the state in a few years. Again, just a sophomore, and he's leading this Odessa Ducks team. And now we have a timeout on the field. The Ducks are going to take one. Yeah, and we'll stay right here for this timeout. But again, Odessa began this drive at around the 27-yard line, and it's been a good one. And one of the main features of it was Azir Bellamy, a big 36-yard carry.
They run toss to field. The wide receiver does an outstanding job of getting inside the
3rd and goal now for the Odessa Ducks. Ball at around the 6-yard line. In the backfield, it's Mackenzie Keating and Azir Bellamy. Vinny Orlando under center. Here comes motion. They're going to turn. Give it up the middle. And great job by Polytech defensive front as they got a push and were able to stop Bellamy from no gain.
Well, clearly Odessa is trying to work the middle of the Polytech defensive line. They've run the base one time. That was a direct angle by the fullback, kind of going left to right to hit the front side A-gap. So they're going to probe in there, but what they're really going to do is set up an outside play.
Trying to get back on the ball, and 4th and goal from around the 4-yard line. The refs now going to stop it themselves as they're going to move it over to the right hash here. But 4th and goal, Odessa no huddle. They're going to line up, and they're going to go for it, Coach.
Yes, they are, and they're going to be in a very tight wing T set. Tight splits. They may actually audible this. They've got a wide receiver set to the left who's got one-on-one coverage.
4th and goal for the Ducks. Looking for the first score of the ball game at their homecoming on this Friday night. Orlando under center. From the 3, now he's going to talk to his running backs here, and he's going to call a timeout.
So that was an interesting sequence. What they were trying to do was to draw Polytech off sides and make it a shorter 4th and goal. They set up, hard count. They motion and then reset, another hard count. As the play clock runs down, because they don't want to take, obviously, the delay of game, they utilize another timeout. I think Coach Pritchard understands this is going to be a game played very close to the vest. This is an important drive, good for not only to get the lead, but good confidence building for his team and his offense.
Vinny Orlando 1 for 1 so far in the ball game for 9 yards. Azir Bellamy 3 carries for 36. He had the 1 for 36. They've stuffed them on the last 2. And now a big 4th and goal upcoming for the Odessa Ducks. And remember, both of these teams battling for that playoff spot in Class 1. Both teams 2 and 4. And again, that 1/4 spot available, making this game even bigger. And then just a homecoming for Odessa. And now here we go. 4th down from the 3. 2:04 remaining here in the first quarter. Orlando under center. And he fumbled the snap, and that's not what the Duck fans were looking for. And that's going to be a turnover on downs. Tough break for the Odessa Ducks.
Well, here's what happens a lot, especially under pressure. Your quarterback is trying to get out. They had a strong formation set to their right, wide receiver left, one-on-one coverage, as we mentioned. They were going to run a power play to the right, and it may have even been a keeper by Orlando. And instead of riding the center's hips with his hands, he tried to pull out a little too quickly, and unfortunately put the ball on the ground. But an outstanding drive. They've got Polytech backed up. Let's see if they can't hold them in here and then either force the punt or maybe something even more advantageous for them. But that was a great drive. They got to feel really good that they found ways they can move the ball against this Polytech D.
They're going to line back up in the pistol here to Marion Lee, and he got a little bit early of a jump on that play. So we're at the 2.5. They're going to back them up another yard or so. And they're pinned deep now, Coach. And again, if you're the Odessa Ducks defense, you're salivating right now at a chance to maybe bring home a safety to break the scoring open. Polytech will see what they do here.
Well, sometimes a great way to set the tone is to get your defense to get a score for you. They have been blitzing linebackers, these wide sets. This is trips into the boundary, pistol with a wide receiver to field.
And they're going to throw, going to set up a quick slant, and he has his man. That's Amir Jenkins, and that's a big play for the Polytech Panthers getting out of the danger zone.
It's always something your defense has to be aware of. When a team sets trips into the boundary and then you have a single wide receiver set so wide that that inside breaking pattern, which it was a slant, there wasn't enough help there. A nice throw and a nice catch and run after by Jenkins.
Jenkins on a pickup of 22 on the catch. Balsarac now 2 of 5 for 37 yards and a new set of downs for the Panthers. Motion back in the pistol, going to line up to throw again. Same play as that ball again. It's picked off. Balsarac left it high, and the ball was tipped up into the air and intercepted.
Looked like a volleyball play, Nick. Balsarac did not get any flexion in his knee, delivers the ball high. Jordan Earl, the sophomore, comes in from behind. He tips the ball forward. Like a volleyball play, but he jumped the route. That was another in-breaking slant route. Tipped it to a teammate that was almost on the ground. So good team defense there, taking away the play that they had just run by jumping the receiver, getting on his back, and then the high throw forced the turnover.
And very quickly, you see that Odessa Ducks offense not wasting any time. They run back out onto the field, no huddle, and they're ready to line up and run a play here. with 1:30 remaining in our opening quarter. 1st and 10 from the Polytech 30. This time it's an end around to Keating. Has some room in front of him. Gets a good block on the sideline, and Keating is into the end zone. A one-play drive, 30-yard score for Keating.
That is really old-fashioned wing T. You've got a wing to the right to field. You've got a slot left. They go motion to influence the defense to field. They run the wing reverse going right to left. An outstanding call, well executed, and a great way to get on the board after the turnover. They save plays like that. We call it sudden change, where the offense wants to take advantage of field position or a big turnover. A nice call there by Danny Pritchard and his staff.
Big play by the defense. Offense rides that momentum. One play, 30 yards, as Keating took it in for the score. And how about this extra point formation, Coach?
Well, we call this at Friends School the swinging gate. And this is how we defend it. We do not use it, but we prepare for it. Tower Hill has used it for years. This is an old-fashioned formation.
And it's a fake. They're going to snap it to Keating, and he's going to get into the end zone for the two-point conversion. Coach, you might have been heading in that direction. What'd you see on that one?
Well, the center, the way he's aligned, he can snap the ball out to the side because of his alignment, and he's allowed to do that. And he makes literally a lateral snap out about 10 yards behind the shield, which has 6 people in it, and they're able to run the ball in. You've really got to work hard on that. We spend 10 minutes every day against Tower Hill's swinging gate to make sure they don't fake it on us. But a really outstanding play and execution by the Odessa Ducks. Now, they must have a lot of time to practice these plays.
And now you're going to see the touchdown run again.
This is the wing counter. They show cross motion, or they will show cross motion, and then they run the wing back right to left behind the formation. It is an influencer play where you get the defense leaning to field.
Again, caught some good blocks downfield from some wide receivers down there, and it cleared up like the Red Sea. Keating did the rest, and he's also in on the two-point conversion. 3 carries, 34 yards, a touchdown, and a two-point conversion for Matt Keating, the Ducks' leading rusher so far in this opening quarter.
Well, they have very versatile runners. You've got Keating, you've got Beelan, you've got Bellamy, you've got the quarterback, David Johnson. So right there you've got 5 athletes that all in different ways can affect your run game. This is a team that wants to run the ball. They've only thrown it 46 times in 6 games. So they're a run-first team, but they're executing the wing T at a very high level at the moment.
Orlando set to kick off. He does. It's going to be a line drive into the hands of Naimundo at the 35. Here he goes, gets to the edge, and showing off the speed, he's able to get to the sideline, and Polytech going to have some good field position, maybe the best of the night to start this drive.
And that is one of the issues. When you kick off on the hash and you don't get it inside the hash towards the boundary where you have 4 people, and as the other 6 are coming across, now there's an opportunity to bounce the play. We call it reversal of field to back to the wide side of the field, and that's just what happened there. A nice return by Nyambo.
And last time out, we saw Polytech open up the drive with 2 passing plays from Balsarac. 2 identical passing plays, I should say, Coach. They tried to hit Jenkins on the slant twice. First time went for 20 yards. The second time was a little high, tipped up and intercepted. And we'll see what they do here. Back again in the pistol here on 1st and 10. Balsarac going to turf, fake up the middle, and here comes the end around and for the Panthers, and that's going to be able to get to the sideline as Tizon Trotter, as he made a defender miss on the edge. Looked for maybe a moment as if Odessa was going to be able to come up and make a play at the line of scrimmage, and Trotter with another big play for Polytech. He's got 2 of their first downs tonight.
The sophomore Trotter did a nice job there of being patient in that run. That is a slot reverse. Those are double slots to each side, but the compressed set that we talked about Polytech using earlier, they run action to the right. Trotter comes behind the quarterback, Balsarac to the left. Did a nice job there with a change of pace, stutter and go to get additional yardage.
Back in the pistol, new set of downs into Odessa territory. Balsarac this time to turn and hand down to Naimundo around the edge, and it looks like the Ducks were ready for it that time. Gain of 1 or 2 on first down.
Well, they try the same play to the opposite side. If it works one way, why not try the other? Now, sometimes when you've gone, as they say, to the well a little too often or too quickly, that might be a play that you might set something up with first and then come back to it. Nice adjustment, as you just mentioned, by Odessa's defense to set the edge and force that play to go more horizontally versus vertically.
Update from St. Mark's, a 7-6 ball game. St. Mark's leading DMA there, and what should be a phenomenal game over in Pike Creek today.
It certainly should. I think that's one of the better games on the entire weekend card. St. Mark's, even though they have 2 losses, they've played everybody really tough. It's a dynamic team offensively. They've got big play threats, but what I love about them is they are very physical up front, very well coached. Joey Wright and his staff do an outstanding job. It's going to be a great game over there on Mill Creek Road.
2nd and 5. They're going to hand it off to Trotter again, this time on the jet sweep. And he is wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Nice play that time by number 25, Noah Normant, the freshman, coming up and making the tackle.
Trotter's an interesting runner. He's got a good burst, and I like his patience I mentioned on that earlier run. He'll start inside. It isn't a jump cut, but then he'll just kind of bounce to the outside. It almost looks like he's being very graceful, but then he has that burst of acceleration. So a nice runner, and they use him well on those outside plays.
And now a stoppage down on the end of the first quarter, actually. So we're going to take our first break of the night. Odessa, they strike first here at their homecoming. They lead Polytech 8-0 in a battle of Class 1A teams. We'll be right back on Delaware Live Sports.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy,
But have you tried Premier?
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Blue Coast Seafood Grill and Raw Bar in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Come check us out. Located in the Rehoboth Gateway, Blue Coast features indoor and outdoor dining and serves beautiful, simple food that highlights the flavors of Southern Delaware. With chef-inspired daily specials, an award-winning wine list, and an extensive list of craft cocktails and local beer, Blue Coast is the perfect spot for a night out. Blue Coast Seafood Grill in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, open 7 days a week year-round for lunch and dinner. See you soon. Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from...
And we're coming back from the break. Polytech trying to rush the offense out there as we start the second quarter, trying to catch Odessa off guard on 3rd and about 2. And now we have a stoppage down on the field as the officials, I don't know if they were ready for the action to start yet.
Polytech was ready and didn't want to snap it because Odessa was not back out on the field, but the officials did a nice job there of kind of getting everything under control and not letting the situation get out of hand. Nice adjustment here by Odessa. They've gone to more of a 4-4 cover 3 look. They opened up with a 5-man front, more of a 5-2, which was played in an over, and then behind that they can play cover 2 or cover 4, which is quarters coverage.
So big play upcoming now as we open up the second quarter for the Polytech Panthers. Are going to go back in the pistol, 3rd and 1, trying to keep this drive alive. Might be 2-down territory for the Panthers. Turn, Bosrack going to roll to his right. He's going to take a shot to the end zone. 1-on-1 coverage, looking for Amir Jenkins as he went up for it. Right through his hands, I believe. Would have been a tough catch, but good coverage down there by Michael Oladaker-Banks.
Well, Oladaker-Banks almost looked like the receiver to me. Jenkins had to come back over top to try to knock the ball away. Unfortunately, the ball was just a little underthrown, but an outstanding coverage there to field by the sophomore Banks.
Well, Coach, again, it was 3rd and about 1. They figured 2-down territory. They decided to take a shot there on 3rd down, and now that brings up 4th and 1. And we'll see what the Panthers do here, 11:53 in our second quarter, and a big 4th down as the Panthers looking to convert.
I like those aggressive calls, especially when you know as a play caller you've got another play to work with. So a nice job there by setting this up here.
Ballsrack going to take the snap. Maybe a broken play, some miscommunication. Now he's going to try to make something happen, and I don't think he's going to be able to get there as he was short. But that ball was snapped, and it didn't look like the Panther offense was ready for it.
Well, sometimes it's the voice inflection of the quarterback. Sometimes it's a clap. Sometimes it's a no count. And I think that time the Polytech center just anticipated the count and snapped it a little early because Balzrak was definitely not prepared to run the play when the ball arrived in his hands.
Well, the spot that we're seeing now down on the field from the officials kind of looks like he has the first down. In real time, it looked like he didn't get to that marker, Coach.
Well, he did have a great second effort on that play as he kind of spun to the right. Obviously, he was surprised. Steps to the right behind his right tackle. There wasn't anything there. It works outside, kind of gets hit, then bounces a little bit and extended the ball. It's something you typically don't want your players to do, especially in high school. But that probably was the single reason he was able to get it that close for a first down.
Would have been a heads-up play by the freshman quarterback, Balsarac. Again, making something out of nothing there. Looked like the play was doomed from the beginning, and the Panthers could be looking at another set of downs in Odessa territory here. But now they're going to take the ball back a little bit, and the officials trying to figure out exactly where Balsarac was brought down on that fourth down play.
Well, if I was Coach Robert Gilmore, I'd probably have a little problem with that. In that, the ball was initially spotted up, and now we have replay, but they don't.
Yeah, that's very true.
And there wasn't anybody calling in from Dover versus New York City to overrule that. So, hey, it's Odessa ball, a nice stand by them.
How about that? So before you can blink, what looked like a new set of downs for Polytech is going to be a new set of downs for Odessa. And here comes the sudden change again, trying to get it out there. And that ball is intercepted on the first play. Simon Balsarac, the brother of Isaac Balsarac, the quarterback, making the play deep in the secondary.
Well, they are twins, I'm sure. They're both freshmen. And Simon did an outstanding job there with his coverage. Orlando rolls right. I think he threw it a little bit late. Balsarac was in terrific position. The ball was underthrown. He became the receiver. An outstanding play by the freshman brother of the quarterback.
Yeah, how about that one again? You mentioned it last time they ran the reverse on the sudden change after they took over on downs. It was a one-play touchdown drive. This time they tried the same play action, tried to take a shot deep, but great coverage down the field, and Polytech gets the ball back here in a new set of downs early in our second quarter. Deep motion, Balsarac going to turn, hand up the middle to Demarion Lee. Odessa there to stop him after no gain.
Odessa's been pretty stout up front with this run game. Now, they've had some problems out on the edge, but interiorly they've done a nice job of not only setting the line of scrimmage back slightly, but their linebackers have done a nice job with their fits.
So maybe one on the first down carry for Demarion Lee. Sets up 2nd and 10, first down markers at the Odessa 45. Now Jenkins going to be the lone receiver at the bottom of your screen, and pistol once again for Balsarac and the Panthers. Going to turn. This time it's going to be a little counter to Nyamundo. Had a little bit of space in front of him. Picks up decent yardage on 2nd down, and now 3rd and manageable.
Well, they like that counter. That comes out of the slot counter. Nyamundo did a nice job there of setting up his blocker and then a nice box cut. What they caught was Azir Bellamy closing down. He was trying to read the play, but could not find the blocker who had actually gone outside him. And because of his closure down the line of scrimmage, that allowed Nyamundo an opportunity to cut outside him.
3rd and 5 for the Panthers. 10:24 and ticking here in the second quarter. Balsarac again in the pistol. Here's motion for Nyamundo. Balsarac going to throw, has his man out in the flat. That's Trotter, and he's going to make the first down catch there on 3rd.
Odessa shifts to a 6-man front. They bring a 6-man pressure, and that allowed Balsarac to just work with a little bit of a short sprint to the right, finding Trotter on the crossing route. A nice thrown ball there. When Balsarac gets his feet set and gets his shoulders turned, he's a very accurate passer. His issues have been where his front knee has gotten a little locked and has thrown the ball what we would call high, and that had resulted in that one interception as well on the slant.
3 of 8 now for Balsarac, 44 yards and the interception for the freshman quarterback. 1st and 10 now for Polytech. Again, here's the snap. They're going to give it to Trotter on the jet sweep again. Makes a cut to the outside, and he's got some good yardage there on 1st down. Polytech trying to get into a rhythm here offensively.
Well, a nice job by Polytech of blocking the edge. They have their wide receiver set almost on the boundary to the wide side, and he's just running his man off. But they did a good job pulling the right guard, and also the slot back did an outstanding job. Nyamundo blocking his man. It's very difficult sometimes in that what we call the alley player, who is that outside linebacker responsible for anything just outside the tackle, to get a block on him because of his maneuverability, and that was an outstanding job by Nyamundo.
Nyamundo in motion this time. They're going to turn, give to Demarion Lee. Has a little bit of a hole. Nice push by the offensive line up front. And another good gain on 2nd down. That's going to be enough for another first down for Polytech.
This is a play that kind of looks like a Tower Hill play where they just try to get a lot of bodies out in front of you. And a nice job there by the right guard, Nicholas Simpler, a junior, to be able to pull and log his man. They get the slot back in front. They get the guard. They get the fullback. And then as they run the jet sweep, the opportunity then to have a lot of blockers out in front of you gives you potential lanes at almost any time you want to make a cut.
First and 10 now for the Panthers from the Odessa 32-yard line. Formation we've seen all night. It's the pistol. Balsarac couldn't handle it. Now going to have to try to make something happen again out of nothing, and he's going to be tackled for a loss in the backfield.
Well, Balsarac's a big young man. He's got good size. He's kind of reminds me of a Roethlisberger back there. Guys bounce off of him as he tries to make the run, and he's a very physical player, and I've always liked that. You get a big young quarterback as he matures and even gets taller, he's going to lean out, and I think he's going to be an outstanding player. And Gilmore has a nice scheme he's working with here, and he's got a young quarterback that he'll be able to tutor for a long time.
Yeah, again, a matchup of two very young quarterbacks here in the state of Delaware. A lot of, flashy stuff to look forward to if you're these two programs. Balsarac, a freshman, Vinny Orlando, just a sophomore for Odessa. And now the Panthers going to take a timeout on the field. Again, 8-0, 8 minutes remaining in our second quarter. It was a 30-yard touchdown run for Mac Keating after the forced turnover by the Odessa Ducks on the interception, and that's where we stand, 8-0. Keating 3 carries, 34 yards, a touchdown, and then the 2-point conversion. And Tizon Trotter doing most of the work here for Polytech. He's got 4 carries for 23 yards. He's got 2 catches for 22 yards.
Well, I like Trotter, as I mentioned. He's got a nice change of pace, patience to his run, and then when he sees the opportunity, he has a good burst. But as a receiver, he does a nice job of what we call shaping himself up, showing his numbers. In this case, he's 15, shows them both to the quarterback, which gives Balsarac a really nice target to throw to. So there is something to be said about having speed, especially when you run crossing routes, but you should run them at about 80% of your total speed, because if you run too fast, you turn your shoulders, the quarterback doesn't have as good an angle to throw to you, and they have a nice relationship, do Trotter and Balzac.
And again, waiting as we come out of the timeout. 7:56 remaining in the second quarter. We are live here at Odessa High School for their homecoming matchup against Polytech. Nick Alessandrini, the coach, Bill Harmon, Pat Arianis, and Nick Halliday, the Delaware Live Sports crew here on Friday night. Balsarac going to take the shotgun snap, fire. That ball's behind him, out of his hands, and into the hands of Jalen Anderson, who makes the catch inside the 10. He's brought down at the 5, and coach, what looks like an interception turns into a big play for the Panthers.
Yes, it was. The play started with an outstanding block by Demarion Lee in the backfield to allow Balsarac to have enough time. And then Balsarac, under some pressure, tries to find his split end, who just looked like he was going to have the ball intercepted, but somehow he maneuvered himself slightly to the inside and took it away from the defender. So an outstanding play there on the outside. Balsarac's got to be a little careful with his ball placement. Once in a while, better to be lucky than anything else.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. That play good for 28 yards. And now trying to score on the very next play. He's going to be close on the carry, brought down near the goal line. Was number 7, Ryan Amundo. And that's going to be a pickup of 4, and now 2nd and goal from the 1.
Nyamundo runs really well, and he had that guard out in front of him again. I mentioned earlier, Nicholas Simpler, who does a nice job of pulling and get himself downfield. So many times you'll see it at every level. Somebody will pull, but they'll just run by people and not block. But Simpler's done a really nice job in space of getting his body on an opponent.
2nd and goal from the 1. The defense chance starting to kick up here at Odessa. Phenomenal crowd here for their homecoming matchup, their first ever homecoming matchup at Odessa High School. Polytech trying to punch it in for their first score of the night. 2nd and goal from the 1. Balsarac going to take the snap. Quarterback power trying to take it in himself. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers.
Polytech changed up their alignment. They've been using those tight slots and then running the jet sweeps, etc. But now they've installed a tight end, Matthew Goodnight, a senior, who's in at left tight end. He did a great job of blocking for Balsarac as he just powered behind the left side of the offensive line. A really nice response to Odessa's score.
Again, the big play, 28-yard pass and catch from Balsarac to Jalen Anderson, setting up the touchdown run that time. And now the 2-point conversion attempt upcoming here as they're trying to even things up at 8, and they're going to line up once again here in the pistol.
And I think they have a formational problem. It was going to be unbalanced, but I don't think that's the set that Coach Gilmore wanted, so he wisely takes a timeout. They're going to try to tie the game here with the 2-point conversion. Again,
8-6. We saw Odessa convert their 2-point conversion out of What do you call that formation again, Coach?
Well, Smyrna calls it earthquake.
That's
I
right,
call
yeah.
it phalanx.
Yeah.
That's from my history background. You guys know what a phalanx is,
Oh,
that the
yes.
Romans used, and they almost conquered the entire world. So they kind of look the same. Earthquake, I think, is just those big bodies, and they're just moving the ground. I'm going to use a little bit more of a military reference there to
I like that.
the pinpoint of it. But, hey, whatever it is, it works. And when you have a runner like Will Knight to run behind that big offensive line that they've had, and then they bring in D tackles, did Smyrna in the old days, and then they would power ahead. That was a pretty tough thing to stop. And then at times, as you guys know, you run that upfield as well. And I think it was a nice twist. I liked it down in the red zone, but I also liked it upfield just because it's a formation that you very rarely see.
And you see
Hard to prepare for.
Wayne and Ymir Knight this year also doing it for the Smyrna Eagles. Seems like the Knights just continuously seem to dominate for Smyrna, and this year no different. Again, a team.
Coach Mike Judy's got to feel really good that the Knights moved into his area, or that they live there. He's been the beneficiary, but Judy does a great job. That staff down there has been very consistent. The same people coaching. Mike's a great organizer. He's a big man that loves the DIFCA. He's very involved. He and John Wilson at St. George's do a lot of stuff for the entire state. And he's done a terrific job with that program. Deserves an awful lot of credit. A really fine gentleman.
Absolutely. And again, you might catch us next week in a big-time matchup between Salesianum and Smyrna. Look out for actually might be Coach, you and Pat on the call next Friday. We'll have to wait and see how that plans out. I'll be out of town, and that should be a fantastic one for you guys to call.
Looking forward to that. We'll miss you, Nick,
one.
but it'll be fun to sit in with Pat, and that should be a great one. Salesianum playing at home as we speak, I believe, against William Penn. Getting themselves ready. So some really good games on the slate here Friday night. I'm also interested in that St. George's Middletown score as well.
William Penn on cue, Coach. William Penn with the update. They lead Salesianum 7-0. How about the Colonials? They've got some talent. Tavion Squirrel, I believe, one of their better players. He's been great this season. And again, Sally's been a week or so since they last played a game.
Well, I don't think that helped them last week. That unfortunate postponement because of the accident in the parking lot. I'm not sure it was good for either team. The only reason it would be good at this juncture is if you had some injuries.
And here we go, two-point conversion finally underway here. Balsarac takes the snap. He's going to throw it into the end zone, and he's got his man. Two-point conversion successful as Neomundo had it, I believe, out of the flanker position into the flat, and Balsarac found him for the two-point conversion.
Balsarac did a nice job there of buying time. He rolled slightly to his right. It almost looked like he double pumped to make sure Neomundo got a little bit wider, which he did. Then he delivered the ball on target. I've been impressed with Balsarac and his movement patterns out on the perimeter. Throws the ball well on the move.
And just like that, we are tied 8-8. You hear over the intercoms the quack, quack, quack that's becoming so famous here at Odessa High School. You see the posts all over the campus. You walk under the Go Ducks logo just to get into the stadium, and it's quack, quack. You're going to hear a lot of the quack in here tonight, Coach.
I almost feel like I'm out in Oregon.
Exactly
but
right.
More importantly, what they're doing here is really building a spirit, and you got to love that. I mean, there's nothing better than high school spirit and high school, what I would just call the whole embodiment of sports, and it's done the right way. Danny Pritchard's doing it the right way. Robert Gilmore's doing it the right way. When you get these opportunities to build these programs up, you set the character, you set the attitude. Just as you mentioned, their bywords, I believe, hungry, humble, and smart. That's pretty good to go. When you do that every time, whether you're a football player in life, you're probably going to have an opportunity to do very well. But I like the fact they're just building this program up. As we mentioned, they only have sophomores at the moment, 600 people in the school. They'll add another 350 next year, and then in another year they'll have a senior class finally.
And this ball is going to be actually kicked off and into the hands of Raymond Carter, the sophomore. And again, my eye lost the ball there for a second, and it resulted in a big kick return. And Odessa going to start this drive with great field position here in the second quarter.
Well, Polytech put the ball on the right hash as well as Odessa kicking in that direction. That kick was slightly muffed. It was more of a pooch kick, and then an outstanding job just to take it in what we call puncture by Ramon Carter, the sophomore for Odessa, getting great positive field position. A nice return. So
get another look at this Odessa offense here. It was a one-play interception for Vinny Orlando last time out, as they tried to take advantage of the sudden change. This time Orlando under center. 1st and 10 in Polytech territory. Counter the other way to Beline. He's going to make a defender miss, tries to break a second tackle. Jenkins able to get him wrapped up, and then he's finally brought down.
Well, Beline did a really nice job there of setting up his blocks. That's old-fashioned counter tray. That means they're pulling from the backside, the guard and tackle, to the front side. The front side blockers block down. The first blocker that gets there kicks out the DN. The second one pulls up. Beelan did a nice job of following the guard and then cutting back against the grain. I really like this young runner. Obviously, his father being a coach probably has helped that he's got a lot of natural talent.
And some laundry on the field there, Coach. That's going to negate the 5-yard gain from Bellamy. It was a holding call against the Odessa Ducks.
Well, this game has been fairly error-free to start with. We had a couple penalties early, and then it's kind of smoothed out a little bit, and you're going to get that sometimes. Unfortunately, what happens many times, especially on a cutback, you're set up to block, your defender slips off not the way you expected him to, and you just unfortunately naturally reach out one of your arms and grab from the side. And these are big penalties, especially in an offense that is more of a kind of small gains building up versus the big play capability.
That's the first penalty of the night against Odessa, and that's a big one. That's going to back them up a decent amount. And now 1st down, they're just going to turn and give to Beline up the middle. And nowhere to run on 1st down.
Jack Murakoya, a senior for Polytech, did a nice job there from his defensive tackle position, setting the edge, working his feet, making a nice individual tackle. And that is many times very hard to do. When you look at defensive linemen, they'll get a lot of assists, but very rarely do you get solos in there. And that time, Marcoya did a nice job of doing exactly right, getting a solo tackle.
Now, a moment ago, it seemed after the Beline run, it would have been a new set of downs at the Polytech 30. The holding penalty brought Odessa all the way back to their own 45.
This is the unbalanced set again to field. You have the tight end over, and they're going to toss it.
And that play's blown up in the backfield, Coach. And what penetration. I believe that was Demarion Lee, the running back, what you know him for, him coming in and making the big-time play and tackle for loss in the backfield.
As an alley player, you are responsible for what we call containment. That means setting the edge. Play comes to you. You've got to find a way to get an angle upfield, turn the play back inside to where you have more players running from. An outstanding job there to set the edge.
So 3rd and very long here, making around 25 yards. For Odessa, need to get to the Polytech 31. Vinny Orlando out of the shotgun, going to drop back. Going to let this one fly deep down the middle of the field, and that's going to find the secondary of Polytech, the second interception for the Panthers. That time it's number 12, Jalen Anderson. He had the big catch on offense last time, and this time his hands find the ball on defense.
The sophomore Anderson did a nice job there of positioning, reading Orlando's eyes as he rolled slightly to the left and then tried to throw back across the middle. If you're a quarterback listening, never throw late over the middle. That usually is a recipe for a problem. Though, I think in that situation, with the yardage the way it was, that acted just like a punt without a return.
I was going to say, I agree, Coach. So either way, and it was 3rd and 25, and basically, like you said, like a punt, Polytech has it now 1st and 10 at their own 33. Going to turn, I believe that's Trotter on the end around again. As you see Polytech trying to get the ball to the sideline, get it outside here tonight, and Trotter picks up good yardage on 1st down, and there's a duck down.
Odessa brought a blitz. It was inside, so the call was correct to try to get outside, but a nice edge was set there by Odessa's defense coming up to make the tackle on Trotter, who initially it looked like he was going to have a huge gain. Still a nice one on 1st down, giving them 2nd and 3.
Trotter 5 carries for 30 yards now on the night, and again, there's an Odessa duck down at the line of scrimmage, and Odessa, they got decent numbers here, but don't want to obviously take any injuries. Milford again up 6-0 at the half over Woodbridge. Sussex Central 21-0 over Cape Henlopen. And William Penn over Salesianum 7-0 here so far. So again, those are your scores, and some good ones. And earlier we even saw St. Mark's and DMA in a close one. And as you mentioned earlier, Coach, some phenomenal matchups will keep everyone updated. And we have another one. Cavs of Middletown up 20-7 as it stands right now as well.
Well, Middletown had that really tough game against St. Joe Prep, which I thought they competed extremely well. It was a game on TV a couple weeks ago. Then they're ready to play Sally's in that great rivalry. The game gets canceled, so they had a week off, maybe a little extra preparation. St. George is on a roll. John Wilson doing an outstanding job there, but right now they're down to Middletown at home.
Demarion Lee on second down. He's got enough yardage for a new set of downs for Polytech, and he's into Odessa territory. Give him a gain of double digits there on second down. First and 10 from the 48.
Right now it feels to me that Polytech's offensive line is starting to really establish themselves. They've been able to run the ball inside, a couple different runners, a couple different variations upon theme. So they're starting to exert their willpower, and this is very important that Odessa finds a way to get a stop here.
Pistol double slot this time for Balsarac. They want to take a shot, looking for Trotter, but he finds Matt Keating in the secondary for the interception, and what a night it's shaping up to be here in the first half for Matt Keating.
Well, Keating did a great job from his safety position of playing that ball. He was in outstanding position. They run basically double fades down the right side, and Balsarac just, again, left that ball a little short, but Keating did a great job of readjusting his body, flipped his hips to make the interception. Had that ball not been underthrown, though, that might have been a problem because Keating was slightly undercutting it.
Keating, one of the players to watch coming into tonight's ball game, and he's been doing his job tonight. Orlando under center, turn and quick give up the middle. Trying to power forward for a few yards. That time, I believe, was Bellamy. And he picks up a few on first down.
One of those seniors in that defensive line, Connor Bartlett, did a nice job there working from his defensive tackle position down the line. Nice arm extension. They're trying to probe as Odessa running inside with some base blocking, a little trap action from time to time. They'll throw that unbalanced at you. They like to run some motion. So there's a lot of deception to this wing T offense that Danny Pritchard's running here at Odessa.
Second and about 7. For the Odessa Ducks. Orlando might have lost the snap, and he took a hit after he hopped on the football. So a loss of 1 on the muffed snap. That's going to set up third and long.
You've got to be very careful as a defender. When that ball's down on the ground like that and the quarterback's down and you come in, sometimes they will call unnecessary roughness on that. And I've seen it called. It's a tough play. It's a reaction play. Ball's on the ground. You're trying to go for it. But when the quarterback or whatever player kind of has it secured, you cannot dive on top of that. Will be a penalty. Fortunate there for Polytech.
Definitely a penalty in the NFL, that's for sure. 2:36, Orlando going to drop back, look to throw, see some space up the middle. He's going to take off, tuck it, and run. And he's got first down yardage and a big gain on third down for Vinny Orlando.
Nice coverage downfield by Polytech's back end. And Orlando did a nice job there of surveying the circumstance, saw that there was coverage, realized that they were deep, and was able to tuck the ball and run. I like Orlando. He's a nice athlete.
Orlando picks up 16 on that carry. New set of downs for the Odessa Ducks. 2:17. We're going to see a 2-minute drill here out of Odessa if they try to put some points on the board before the teams head to the locker room. Back under center. This time he's going to turn. They're trying to fake it. It's going to be a counter the other way. Able to slip past the first line of defense. That time on the carry was number 26. I believe Jabari McBean. He's got one of his second carry of the night.
McBean, a freshman coming from that right wing position. They pull the right tackle. They're going to run more of a counter play there, a wing inside handoff counter. McBean tried to cut it up, and then he was able to get some room to the outside. Did a nice job there of keeping his feet moving.
Right at midfield, second and about 4 now for Odessa. 1:30 clock is ticking here. They're going to turn, pitch it to Beline on the outside, and he is wrapped up in a nice play in the backfield by Joshua Deacon.
Boy, Deacon did a great job there of recognizing the play was a toss play. They pull the guard, who was responsible for hooking him, but Dean just beat it, Deacon, because of his upfield attack, and then makes a nice open field tackle on Beline, who we have seen before have some prowess of breaking tackles. So a nice play there by the sophomore.
And now a whistle It's good for a loss of 4. 6 carries for 19 yards now for Chase Beline. And a 3rd down and long upcoming for the Odessa Ducks after the timeout. Coach, we're under a minute. 8-8 here at Odessa High School. Nick Alessandrini, the coach, Bill Harmon, Pat Garianis, and Nick Halliday up on top of the press box. And Coach, if you're Odessa, it's 3rd and long here. Haven't had too much success in the air. What are you thinking if you're Coach Dan Pritchard?
Well, I think what they should do, since this is such a competitive game and an important game for them, with 3rd and 8, Polytech out of timeouts, I would run the ball here. I would run the ball, utilize as much time as you can, kick it away, kick it out of bounds, so you don't allow Polytech any opportunity to return it, and they'll probably have somewhere around 15 to 20 seconds of time to play with. So I thought that was a good timeout by Whitmore. He's going to force them into a decision here. But to me, I would run the ball, keep the clock running, shorten up this half, and make sure you get into halftime 8-8.
The last 2 passes for Vinny Orlando have been intercepted. But they're going to throw it again here. Try to set up the screen to Keating. He throws. He does get it to him at the 40. You're going to try to make something happen, but he's wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. So no going there, and the clock will continue to run.
Well, that operates kind of the same way. Had he had to throw that ball away, that would have been a problem. A nice play there by Connor Bartlett, diagnosing the screen. He was right out there to make the tackle.
And again, clock just going to continue to run here. And like you said, Coach, not going to be much time, if any at all, once
And
Odessa
what they should do here is let it run all the way down and take a 5-yard penalty. They should really not worry about 5 yards here. Let the clock get as low as it can before you kick it.
So there's the snap. The kick is underway. 10 seconds is going to be caught by Jenkins at the 35, and he's got the sideline to midfield. If he can catch some blocking downfield, and then a late flag as he's into Odessa territory. Again, not much, under a second left on the clock, and it looked maybe for at least a second there could have been some room there, but it closed up quickly. A flag, and that's most likely going to take us into the locker room.
Game management's so important. As I said, if you'd allow the clock to run down, take the penalty, get your punt team organized, I would have recommended kicking that ball out of bounds to not allow an opportunity, or at least kick it so close to the left sideline, since Odessa was kicking right to left, that minimizes the opportunity for the returner to have a big play.
So as it stands right now on the clock, 0.7 seconds. Again, 8-8 tie ball game. Both of these teams battling for the playoff spot in Class 1. And again, it's Odessa homecoming, the first in school history. So a great environment here at Odessa High School. The Ducks, you're going to hear a lot of quacking out of the crowd. You'll probably pick that up on the microphone a little bit already, but it looks as if, though, we've got a good one here tonight and could have a tie ball game as we head to the half.
Well, I think from Odessa's standpoint, they'll be very happy they get the tie, because with that field position on the return before the penalty, you might have seen Balzarak do a Hail Mary and take a shot, and I think his arm is just strong enough from that position to possibly get it in the end zone. Or you're looking for a PI.
So it was a hold on the punt return, so that'll back him up. And again, just most likely a kneel down or handoff here. And
well, both these teams
half.
Have been pretty bold. I'm not sure they have
kneel
down in their repertoire, Nick, but I would agree with you. That would probably be the right thing to do here.
Well, 0.7. Balsarak going to turn and pitch it to Demarion Lee, and just trying to be careful with it was the Odessa defense, and they're going to come up and make the play. It's a gain of 11 on the last play of the first half. And we got a good one, 8-8, all tied up at the break between Odessa and Polytech. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, second half action here at Odessa High School. It's Delaware Live Sports. We'll be right back.
We all know that choosing the right company for home preservation can be challenging. Your home is your castle, and only the best and most trusted will work, right? Of course. So why is Ace Handyman Services different and the right choice? We take great pride in our easy, no-hassle scheduling and communication process. You call, we answer, and we listen. Or take advantage of online booking 24/7. Once we understand your home needs, we schedule a craftsman to arrive at a convenient time for you. You then receive a pre-call the night before from your craftsman. On my way text notification so you know when to expect your craftsman to arrive. Regular updates on the progress of your job. Even follow-up prior to any warranty expiration dates. easy, convenient, no surprises, ever. Our commitment is to treat your home, your family, your time, and your privacy with respect. Rest assured, you are always our top priority. Our multi-skilled craftsmen will complete the work on your home in a workmanlike manner. If we don't, we'll come back to make it right. It's what we do and have been since 1998. Simply put, we're different. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Get the assurance that your HVAC system is what you need with Ambience. Ambience provides you with over 25 years of experience in the heating, cooling, and plumbing industry. The team at Ambience Heating and Air Conditioning provides high-quality residential HVAC installations, maintenance, and repairs in new and older homes in the Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania tri-state area. You may not realize it, but half of your energy costs go to heating and cooling. Make sure your energy dollars count and call us today for a free estimate. 302-239-HVAC. 302-239-4822.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Blue Coast Seafood Grill and Raw Bar in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Come check us out. Located in the Rehoboth Gateway, Blue Coast features indoor and outdoor dining and serves beautiful, simple food that highlights the flavors of Southern Delaware. With chef-inspired daily specials, an award-winning wine list, and an extensive list of craft cocktails and local beer, Blue Coast is the perfect spot for a night out. Blue Coast Seafood Grill in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, open 7 days a week year-round for lunch and dinner. See you soon.
High school athletics is not what it used to be. The sporting goods industry has been disrupted, adding to coach and athletic director daily challenges. BSN Sports stands ready to change the fundamentals of our industry, giving our customers the advantages they need right now. Your dedicated local sales pro is supported with nationwide team service, including sport and category experts. Get the look of D1 colleges and pro teams with our program that streamlines ordering your staff apparel, player gear, and fan wear. Stretch your budget with our fundraising solution. Free and ready in minutes. Our campus branding products are perfect for boosting school and team pride. BSN Sports has the advantages you need right now.
Barkley Heating and Air. Barclays can work on all brands specializing in air conditioners, gas, oil, and heat pumps. Family owned and operated with over 17 years of experience. Licensed, insured, and a multiple-year First State Favorites winner. Barkley Heating and Air offers 24-hour emergency service with service plans available. Customer satisfaction guaranteed. Call 302-653-5971 for a free estimate today. John and Ginger Barkley are looking forward to serving the community. Find them on the web at barkleyheatingandair.com.
Whether you're planning to buy a home in 3 months, 6 months, or even a year, let me walk you through the process from start to finish and get your questions answered. I'm a DHSA lender with down payment assistance programs or grant money. I can help those with less than perfect credit or those working on their credit. I'm also local and always have been. So call 302-563-5599 or visit bryans.loans.com when you are ready to get started on your road to homeownership.
Hi, it's Scott and Lauren from Soto Concepts.
And today we're at Catch 54 in Fenwick Island, Delaware. Catch 54 is committed to serving beautiful, simple coastal cuisine overlooking the bay. House favorites include signature crab cakes, shrimp and grits, our famous 54 burger, all accompanied by a wine spectator wine list and a great selection of craft ales and cocktails. Catch 54 offers delicious nightly specials, award-winning waterfront dining views, and the best happy hour in town.
Catch 54 in Fenwick Island, Delaware, open 7 days a week.
See you soon.
Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution. We are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union.
At Ferris Home Improvements, your family's comfort and safety is always our top priority.
If you call us for your roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchen, and bathroom needs, you can expect health screen craftsmen who wear gloves and face masks and follow minimum 6-foot distancing, virtual conferences to discuss project details, job quotes delivered electronically or brought to your door for your review and approval, and our showrooms in Newark and Rehoboth Beach remain open for limited appointments.
We're here together.
Operating with precautions.
To protect our staff.
And our customers.
High Five Hospitality was founded in 2004 when 3 guys teamed up to introduce the Buffalo Wild Wings franchise concept to Delaware. They now operate 8 Buffalo Wild Wings, 6 locations throughout Delaware, and 2 locations in Maryland. B-Dubs has weekly and game day specials on their delicious food and beverages. Stop in one of their convenient locations today. The Stone Balloon Ale House features a unique blend of crafted food and an array of spirits, all flavored with a dash of nostalgia. Our culinary mantra is comfort food playfully reimagined, and we prepare seasonal favorites that strive to please the palate and resurface a memory. Limestone Barbecue, from our mouth-watering Texas-style brisket, fall-off-the-bone chicken, and St. Louis ribs. Southern-style sides, mac and cheese, baked beans, cornbread, sweet tea, and our homemade pickles. Be prepared as your bread will be your napkin. Yup, we are that kind of barbecue. Expectation. You'll have a tough time choosing between our exclusive dishes to help get you through the day. French toast, French crepes, Belgian waffles, and of course, our famous Eggs Benedict. High Five Hospitality's mission is to operate 5 brands that serve high-quality products with exceptional hospitality.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Today we're at Lupo Italian Kitchen in downtown Rehoboth Beach. Come check us out. Located inside the Hotel Rehoboth, Lupo serves coastal Italian cuisine with fresh pasta made in-house daily. Lupo features plenty of unique craft cocktails and an extensive award-winning all-Italian wine list. Popular dishes include lobster bucatini, veal meatballs, grilled swordfish, and eggplant parmesan. Lupo Italian Kitchen on Rehoboth Avenue, serving happy hour daily and dinner 7 days a week. See you soon.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy.
But have you tried Premier?
Paint Doctor, making house calls for your sick walls. Richard C. Edwards Jr., the owner of Paint Doctor, started it all in 2002. Paint Doctor prides itself on its personal yet professional approach to working with customers and holds itself to the highest standards with all projects. The Paint Doctor staff follows one main objective when performing our services. Customers and their homes are treated with the utmost respect. Our workmanship and quality of personnel is demanded at every step of the project. We treat your home as we would expect someone to treat ours. Preparation before painting is paramount. Just open the door and we will handle the rest. Paint Doctor also believes in a strong community involvement as well by supporting several local sporting teams, leagues, and schools. Paint Doctor services include interior and exterior painting as well as carpentry. Please visit our website at paintdoctorpainting.com for information or coupons to help with your next job.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Soto Concepts is an award-winning restaurant group with 12 locations in beautiful coastal Delaware. Come check us out. At Soto Concepts, we believe in cooking beautiful, simple food, developing the people we work with, and making the world a better place. Come visit us this fall for our great off-season specials, like half-price entree night and crab cake night. With 12 locations on the culinary coast from Lewis, Delaware to Fenwick Island, we have something for everyone. See you soon. Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Thompson Island Brewing Company in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Come check us out. Located in the Rehoboth Gateway next to Blue Coast Rehoboth, Thompson Island will follow the Sodell tradition of serving beautiful, simple food that will pair perfectly with our fresh homemade beer. Thompson Island is the perfect place to have dinner with your family, enjoy happy hour with friends at the bar, or spend a day in the beer garden playing bocce ball and ping pong. Thompson Island Brewing Company in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, open 7 days a week. See you soon.
How you doing? My name's Mike Cassidy. I'm the founder and president of Cassidy Painting. I started back in 1984, incorporated in 1986. I never had the word no in my vocabulary. When someone called me to do a job, I always said yes, whether it was a struggle, whether it was 7 days a week, sun up to sundown, it didn't matter. And with that philosophy, we were able to grow to the size we are. We employ close to 80 individuals.
We really enjoy being in the family business. I look forward to coming to work every day, and it's so nice to work with the people that we work with in the office. We've really become a family with them. We really create a family experience around here.
And Cassidy Painting is a very diversified company. We don't say no to anything. We deal with everything from epoxy floors to painting buildings to spray foam insulation, spray fireproofing. If it deals with a coating, we can handle it. So when our customers call and they're under the gun and they know the need to get a job done, they know who to call because we perform. We've always been performed. We've never been replaced out of 37 years of business. For any of your painting needs, we can handle it.
We all know that choosing the right company for home preservation can be challenging. Your home is your castle, and only the best and most trusted will work, right? Of course. So why is Ace Handyman Services different and the right choice? We take great pride in our easy, no-hassle scheduling and communication process. You call, we answer, and we listen. Or take advantage of online booking 24/7. Once we understand your home needs, we schedule a craftsman to arrive at a convenient time for you. You then receive a pre-call the night before from your craftsman. On my way text notification so you know when to expect your craftsman to arrive. Regular updates on the progress of your job. Even follow-up prior to any warranty expiration dates. Easy, convenient, no surprises, ever. Our commitment is to treat your home, your family, your time, and your privacy with respect. Rest assured, you are always our top priority. Our multi-skilled craftsmen will complete the work on your home in a workmanlike manner. If we don't, we'll come back to make it right. It's what we do and have been since 1998. Simply put, we're different. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Get the assurance that your HVAC system is what you need with Ambience. Ambience provides you with over 25 years of experience in the heating, cooling, and plumbing industry. The team at Ambience Heating and Air Conditioning provides high-quality residential HVAC installations, maintenance, and repairs in new and older homes in the Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania tri-state area. You may not realize it, but half of your energy costs go to heating and cooling. Make sure your energy dollars count and call us today for a free estimate. 302-239-HVAC. 302-239-4822.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Blue Coast Seafood Grill and Raw Bar in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Come check us out. Located in the Rehoboth Gateway, Blue Coast features indoor and outdoor dining and serves beautiful, simple food that highlights the flavors of Southern Delaware. With chef-inspired daily specials, an award-winning wine list, and an extensive list of craft cocktails and local beer, Blue Coast is the perfect spot for a night out. Blue Coast Seafood Grill in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, open 7 days a week year-round for lunch and dinner. See you soon.
High school athletics is not what it used to be. The sporting goods industry has been disrupted. adding to coach and athletic director daily challenges. BSN Sports stands ready to change the fundamentals of our industry, giving our customers the advantages they need right now. Your dedicated local sales pro is supported with nationwide team service, including sport and category experts. Get the look of D1 colleges and pro teams with our program that streamlines ordering your staff apparel, player gear, and fanwear. Stretch your budget with our fundraising solution. Free and ready in minutes. Our campus branding products are perfect for boosting school and team pride. BSN Sports has the advantages you need right now.
Barkley Heating and Air. Barkley's can work on all brands specializing in air conditioners, gas, oil, and heat pumps. Family owned and operated with over 17 years of experience. Licensed, insured, and a multiple-year First Aid Favorites winner. Barkley Heating and Air offers 24-hour emergency service with service plans available. Customer satisfaction guaranteed. Call 302-653-5971 for a free estimate today. John and Ginger Barkley are looking forward to serving the community. Find them on the web at barkleyheatingandair.com. Barkley Heating and Air. And welcome back inside Delaware Live Sports. Nick Allison journey alongside my broadcast partner, the coach Bill Harmon. Pat Garianis in between us, producing Nick Holliday on top of the press box doing the camera work. And we've got a good one here in a Class 1 matchup. It's the homecoming night for the home team, the Odessa Ducks, and the visiting Polytech Panthers. Both teams came in 2-4, looking to battle for that fourth playoff spot in Class 1. And it's been a good one, Coach, throughout. 8-8 after one half of play.
Well, it certainly has been. It's been well played, not too many penalties. Both teams have executed well at times, and then they've had some difficulties with some turnovers. But overall, it feels to me like Polytech's front, both offensively and defensively, are maybe beginning to assert themselves. Polytech has 5 seniors, and then, of course, with this rising class situation that Odessa has, they don't have any juniors or seniors. So let's see if that age group, the experience might take over a little bit. But I've been very impressed with Odessa. They execute some really nice wing tee offense. They've been very creative with the wing back counter and the wing back reverse. The quarterback, I like Orlando. He's got to be a playmaker for them, and he may have to make some big plays here in the second half, not only with his arm but his legs. And Polytech, on the other hand, the freshman, Balzarak, has done a really nice job at times of moving his ball club. He got to try to get a big first down on a tough guy play. But he's a fine player, and his brother, Simon, did a nice job of a big interception off of Orlando on a deep throw. So some good things by both teams. I think defensively they have each given up a couple big plays, but they've tackled well around the line of scrimmage. So far I would have to think that both head coaches have to be fairly pleased with where they stand here in the second half, and this may come down to a big special teams play or a turnover.
And again, now take a look at our first half stats here, sponsored by Ace. And Vinny Orlando, 2 of 4, 9 yards, did have 2 interceptions, but he did have a carry for 16 yards. His last 2 throws were intercepted. He'll look to get back on track here in the second half. Chase Beline, 6 carries for 20 yards. Number 7, the leading rusher on the season, Matt Keating. He has 3 carries for 34 yards, that touchdown, and a 2-point conversion. So 2 of those 3 carries were scoring plays for Matt Keating. And then Azir Bellamy, he leads them in rushing tonight. He's got 4 carries for 40 yards. The Ducks will try to ride some of that momentum offensively here in the second half. You take a look at Polytech. You mentioned Balsarak, 5 of 11, 75 yards. He's also got 2 interceptions, though he has a 2-point conversion, and he has that quarterback power on the 1-yard touchdown run. The main offensive weapon tonight so far for the Panthers has been Tizon Trotter, 5 carries for 30 yards, 2 catches for 22 yards, so 52 all-purpose yards for Trotter, and Damarion Lee, 7 carries for 34 yards.
Well, those are a couple senior, well, in particular, Damarion Lee has done a nice job. I've also been impressed with their split end, Amir Jenkins, a junior. He's done a nice job with some of those in-breaking routes. One got picked off because the throw was a little high, but they have some big play capability. And then when we talk about Tazan Trotter, only a sophomore, he's got a lot of upside to his game, a really good runner. He's got nice patience, he's got a burst, and he's got physicality when he finishes the run. So they have some offensive players that definitely have big play capability.
Again, one of many great matchups on tap here in the state of Delaware tonight. Woodbridge, late in the third quarter, has taken the lead. They were trailing 6-0 over Milford. They now lead 14-6. Kenny Newton to Rasheed Stones on a trick play for a 32-yard touchdown has given Woodbridge the lead late in the third quarter.
How about that job Marvin Dooley's doing down there at Woodbridge?
Absolutely.
Undefeated, at least up till now. They played a very difficult schedule, had to go on the road with some tough games. And Marvin, who'd been a longtime coach at William Penn, then he moved over to St. Elizabeth's, and then now this year is his first year down at Woodbridge. I think he and his staff are really doing a great job because that was a program that was really embedded into a certain way. You bring a different coach in who hadn't been there before. They've certainly figured out how to play for Marvin, and he's doing an outstanding job.
St. Mark's just gave up an interception. Devin Green made him pay for it. He took it 25 yards in the very next play for a touchdown. DMA leading St. Mark's 21-7 that game into the fourth quarter.
Well, one of the difficulties St. Mark's might have offensively, I'm not sure their quarterback's available for tonight. He got hurt last week. Now, he may be playing. I didn't get an injury report on that, but Panalano, who is only a sophomore, had really impressed me in the game we did over there. That big offensive line, they've got to try to find a way to run the ball, maybe get the ball to Jabri White, their outstanding wide receiver. But without your starting quarterback at any level, it is so difficult to win. I watched DMA last week. I know you guys did the game. I was really impressed with their scheme and their overall athleticism. They had some players out there that were outstanding to me, Green in particular. So yes, that's a really tough team. And St. Mark's, I know, is going to give them a great battle, well prepared. Talked to Joey Wright. He thought his team was ready to play. And DMA is a really tough opponent. They have been on an uprise over there with that program, moving up every game. I think they've improved.
And we will be there November 12th. It's going to be a good one, Archmere and DMA. That should be a fantastic matchup in a few weeks. We'll be there for it. Something
got some great games, Nick. We got a great game here. We have Smyrna Sally's next week. I'll tell you what, you and the schedulers, Nick and Pat, do a great job, and it's so much fun to be a small part of your group. I really enjoy working with you guys.
Again, shout out to Jason Winchell, Nick Holliday, and Pat, everybody that was able to get in on the scheduling. Dover, they get on the board here, and you look down, you see you got the phone lights going on across in the Polytech band section. They got the lights out here. And again, homecoming kind of rubbing off on Polytech even as the visiting team here on this nice homecoming night at Odessa.
A lot of cultural illusions, and I'm not quite keyed into. You young guys are going to have to educate me on that.
Dover, they just got on the board, Coach.
I feel like I'm at a concert.
Exactly. That's the environment.
Do I know that?
Okay.
I've been to a few concerts in my day.
What's your favorite artist, Coach?
I have many, but I'll tell you, you've never seen a better group in concert than U2.
U2, there you
and
go.
I'm
That's
also
a good
big Coldplay fan. They are terrific. And I'll tell you another group you guys probably haven't even heard of, but I used to see them in Madison Square Garden when I lived in New York, Depeche Mode. In concert, really good stuff.
There you have it.
Now I'm dating myself with some of those groups. I do know that. But
I think we're going to hear some of that maybe in the Odessa locker room. That's what they warm up to, I heard. As we're into the second half action, Dover, they just got on the board, 10-yard touchdown by Jaquan Kilby. Smyrna leads them 20-7, 5:39 left in the third quarter. So those are some of your scores. We're about ready to get back underway here at Odessa. Second half action, it's all tied up 8-8. Odessa, they deferred in the first half, and Coach, they'll be receiving the second half kickoff.
Ball's being kicked from this right hash. Both teams tend to utilize this hash to kick the ball down and try to compress the field to not allow the returner an opportunity to get to the wide side.
Balsarak kicks, and we are underway. That's going to be caught at the 35-yard line. Trying to make a play on it that time was Raymond Carter, the sophomore, and didn't get much on the return, but either way, it's going to be decent field position for the Odessa Ducks to start the second half.
Well, the kick wasn't deep enough, but it had just enough hang time for that coverage team to get down there and really kind of bottle up Carter before he could get a chance to get going. Just before we get started here, I also wanted to comment on the job Chip Knapp, the old Wesley coach, is doing at Dover. I'll tell you what, he has really done an outstanding job with that program. He is a terrific gentleman, and it's really great to see him having success at the high school level.
Absolutely, what a season for Dover that they're having. Again, tough loss last time out, and they're, again, looking to rebound. But they're a top 5 team this year as second half underway. It's going to be a give up the middle to get things started offensively for Odessa. Give them 3 on the carry, as I believe that was Bellamy.
Azir Bellamy, their fullback, doing a nice job there on that base run play. Odessa kind of starts out. They like to establish the fullback and then kind of work out to the perimeter as they go. And I'm looking for Orlando, the sophomore quarterback, to start making some plays here with his feet, either in the pass game or in the run game.
Second and about 7. There's that hybrid wing tee you talked about earlier. Orlando under is going to be a quick toss out to the right side as McBean on the carry that time. And again, Polytech, nowhere to run. Good push up front, and again, no gain on second down.
Polytech has really adapted quickly here in this ball game to the fact that they're going to try to run inside to get your linebacker sitting and then toss the ball or run the speed sweep to the outside or the counter out there. And McBean just had nowhere to go. A nice edge set immediately by Polytech's defense to bring up a 3rd and 7 situation here for Odessa.
We'll see what the Ducks do here on 3rd and 7. Again, Orlando's last 2 passes were intercepted. He's 2 of 4 for 9 yards tonight throwing the football, but picked up some big plays on the ground. 3rd and 7. Orlando going to drop back out of the shotgun. Going to let this one fly to the flat. Has his man. That's Braden Simmons out of the backfield. And he gets hit after a big gain there. Give him about 15.
Well, that was a really nice schematic play. They have Braden Simmons, number 3, in the trips, but he was really close to the formation. They flood it. They run off with the split end, and then they flood it, meaning 2 receivers go out basically into the same area. They usually have about 5 to 6 yards of separation. Nice throw there by Orlando, reading it, getting the ball out of his hands, and a nice play by Simmons to finish the play.
New set of downs for Odessa into Polytech territory. And I believe actually a flag on the play. Personal foul against Polytech. Thank you, Pat Garianis, our producer here. With the
and Spotter.
Great eyes. And Spotter. Absolutely doing it all up here for us in the booth at Odessa. And that is a 15-yard penalty. And it's going to be added on. So a big penalty against the Panthers. And Odessa coming out this opening drive with some rhythm here in the second half.
Well, they were in 3rd and 7. They hit a short flood pattern that turns into a nice catch and run, and then the addition of the penalty on. So already they've got Polytech's defense on their heels.
Lone receiver at the top of your screen is Jordan Earl. As under center goes Orlando. Turn and give to Beline, this time on the right side. Able to pick up a few there on first down.
Beelan is really tough. He's got great feet. He refuses to give up. If you've ever had a chance to talk or watch his father coach, you know where he gets this, and I'm sure his mother as well. There's great characteristics. Coach Beelan at Delaware is one of my favorite coaches. He does a great job with the defensive line unit. They're always tough. They know how to play. They're very technique-oriented, but then when they need to turn it on, they can, and that's a little bit what of his son. Knows how to run the ball, but he's got that extra perseverance to try to continue to finish runs with his feet.
Again, going to look to the sideline, get the play call here. Clock begins to run. 2nd and about 6 for the Odessa Ducks. Need to get to the 19. Orlando, again, looking to the sideline. Going to switch some things up here as Beline switches sides. This time they're going to quick pitch it to him now. Trying to get to the sideline, shows off the speed, lowers his shoulder, and is going to be close to first down yardage.
Well, you do a great job of describing it. So Orlando gets by the center. He's ready to call the play. He's probably called a certain play earlier. He checks with the sideline. They call it check with me. He's checking with the offensive coordinator. I believe that's Danny Pritchard calling the plays. And then he may stay with the same play, or he may kill the initial play and run an alternative play. We call that an audible. They've got to do a good job of communicating with the offensive line, the wide receivers, and the running backs, and they've done a nice job with several of these checks throughout the evening.
It's going to be a new set of downs into the red zone. The Ducks go. I believe we have a player down. Number 5 for Polytech. I believe that's number 5 for Odessa. Chase Beline, who we've been just talking about, took a shot to the ribs and the waist area, and he's down. And Coach, you just talked about how good he's been and a player to watch, and he started to pick it up already here in the second half on some of these carries, and hopefully he's okay down there.
Well, he did take a shot on the sideline, and far be it for me to try to even estimate what might have happened to him. The trainer and Coach Pritchard are over top, and they're might be waiting for the team doctor to check him out.
8 carries for 30 yards tonight for Boline again, and just a freshman, as again the youth of this Odessa program.
Well, that's all they have, Nick, is sophomores and freshmen.
Absolutely.
Incredibly young, as we've already chronicled. They are building this school up, 600 people in the school at the moment. They'll add 300 next year and then 300 more, and then they'll have a full complement of around 1,200 people. They'll finally have a senior class, and they'll be really ready to go.
And we'll stay, or actually, yes, we were going to take a short break, and we'll be right back here. And welcome back, Delaware Live Sports. Nick Alessandrini, the coach Bill Harmon. Pat Garianis here up in the booth for Odessa and Polytech. Boline able to get off to the sideline under his own power. And now a new set of downs into the red zone for the Ducks here in the third quarter. Orlando this time going to fake the give, and now he's going to try to take it himself. Cuts up field, flags come flying. And he picks up 5 as it stands right now. We'll await the call.
Well, I've been waiting for Orlando to get himself in play, and that was what we call belly option. Fakes inside and then keeps the ball to the outside himself. The penalty flag was thrown typically in the position of a hold or a block in the back. We'll just have to see what it is. But I like the fact that Odessa's trying to get Orlando, the quarterback, involved.
It's going to be a hold against the Ducks. The first of the second half for Odessa, second penalty of the ball game. That'll back them up, and they've had 2 holding calls back them up a decent amount. I know it's where the hold takes place, and now they're going to lose 10 more here. Ball goes back to the 30. First down still sitting at the 10, so first and 21 upcoming for Odessa.
Well, with Beelan out, and he is on the sideline, but he did get up very fortunately. Let's hope he's okay. Keating in and can run from the wingback position as well as.
And he was looking for him there, Coach, on cue. Matt Keating has a rushing touchdown, now a receiving touchdown. As that one is in there for a score, 30 yards. That seems to be the magic number. 30-yard rush, 30-yard catch for number 7.
How about old school wing T? Bootleg to field. Keating is the wingback to the left. He then escapes and runs a wheel route. Well executed, well blocked. Orlando gets it off just in time. Keating running that crossing route, but more of a crossing route than a true wheel for the touchdown. Keating obviously has big-time, big play capabilities.
And we'll take a look at the replay here in a second, but what a big-time play that time. Vinny Orlando, we talked about getting him going there in the second half. His last 2 passes were intercepted before coming into the third quarter, and he came out and gets started on the right foot, 30-yard pass. And then here's the extra point attempt. This one's going to go through Orlando's hands and not going to look like he's going to be able to convert that one. So 2-point attempt unsuccessful, 14-8 Ducks.
Well, that time the swinging gate, the shield was to the left. They direct snap. It was going to Orlando. It was just a little high. They were going to run him probably on a sprint out, and then they had one-on-one to the right side. Sometimes you'll roll out and then throw a screen back. But there are a lot of options when you run this, I use the term swinging gate, this offset or outpost formation. Just not as well executed there. But Orlando showed me some savvy there, understanding that it's high school and that you can't lose any points on a PAT. He there just threw the ball up, hoping maybe to get an interference call himself, or maybe even lucky enough to get it in the end zone, though he couldn't get it there. But a lot of people don't understand that this is high school and there's no penalty, so to speak, no opportunity for the defense to score in a PAT situation.
Second passing touchdown of the season for Vinny Orlando. His previous touchdown pass was 40. His second is 30. And again, Matt Keating had his second score of the night, the leading rusher, this time doing it on the receiving end, and Polytech now up a score. 8:56 remaining in our third quarter.
Mackenzie Keating, one of the old guys on this team, a sophomore. Yeah. I like his versatility. He can play the wing, he can play the slot, he can play in the backfield. Really nice athlete, runs good patterns, has very quick feet on that run that we saw on the wing counter earlier in the evening.
So Salesianum up 23-15, 9:30 still to go in the third quarter. So Sally's coming back and taking the lead there as this kickoff is back. It's going to be caught and fielded by Jenkins at his own 12, and he's going to have nowhere to run. Odessa collapses on him, and I'm not sure, Coach, if that one maybe had a shot at getting out of bounds, but Jake is able to pick it up and try to make something happen.
Well, that's why you kick off from the hash, and that was well executed by Odessa. They kick it down the hash. It actually was a little bit wider, almost to the tick between the hash and the out of bounds. That does not afford the opportunity for the returner to really go anywhere. He tried to reverse field, but excellent coverage there by Odessa. Nice job by the kickoff man to get the ball in the right spot. And that's Orlando.
So Odessa going to start this drive deep in their own territory, and it looks as if, though they're backing them up, it's going to be a hold call as well against the Panthers. So they're going to start deep in their own territory.
Well, these penalties have really hurt Polytech here tonight. Anytime they've gotten some momentum, they've had a penalty outside of the one drive where Balzac was able to score. But that has plagued them, and that's probably something that Coach Gilmore has preached to them throughout this season. They just need to try to clean some of that up.
So Polytech deep in their own territory. Balzac going to look to throw, throws it out to Jenkins, and he's hit on impact right there by Jordan Earl as soon as the ball touches his hands.
Well, they're trying to throw a wide receiver screen, and Earl was very quick to anticipate that and come up and set the edge from his cornerback position. Good defense there, individual perimeter defense by the sophomore Earl.
So loss of 2 on the completion. And Jenkins has his second catch of the night. 2 catches for 20 yards for number 5 in white.
Well, this is how Polytech opened the game up. They worked the perimeter, and then with those compressed formations started to expand.
There's the defensive chance. It's going to be a quick handoff for the Panthers trying to get around that left side, and the Odessa defense not going to let it happen.
Well, when you run a jet sweep, which is where the quarterback is in gun or in pistol, versus the speed sweep, which is under when you turn and hand the ball off directly behind the quarterback at the line of scrimmage. Just by the nature of the word, speed and jet, it's got to be fast. You're trying to out-leverage the defense. And in that case, that time Trotter did not get the ball at full speed. Odessa did a nice job of stringing it out and slowing down the play.
And again, a special shout-out to Pat Garianis. We have a new quarterback in. That's Tariq Boxty, the junior, for Polytech. And that ball's loose into the end zone. That's going to be fielded by the Ducks for a defensive score.
Well, we talked about big plays making a difference in the second half. They struck with the wing-back deep pass, the wheel crossing route to Keating, and now with the bad snap with the reserve quarterback in, that results in another great play by this Odessa defense. They really seem fired up. They have the momentum here. It's going to be imperative that Polytech finds a way to regain their balance.
And, Coach, we just watched the replay on the screen. Azir Bellamy laying the wood in the end zone, knocking that ball loose, recovered by Ramon Carter for the defensive touchdown. And Odessa opening up the second half the right way here at their homecoming. 2 scores in a matter of minutes here in the third quarter. And this time they're going to line up just to kick the extra point. It's going to be another muff. Going to have to try to make a play is Ethan Van Berkom. And he almost did. Got to the outside. He's going to be stopped short. So another unsuccessful conversion attempt that time for Odessa, but 20-8, they lead by 12 here, 7:16 remaining in our third quarter.
You were talking about Azir Bellamy, the sophomore from Odessa, being so impactful, and I can see why Coach Pritchard really likes him. He's explosive. He can play that edge. He closes down well. He's got excellent recovery speed. This is a young man that I think has a chance to be really good. Coach Pritchard told us that he thinks Bellamy might be one of the best young defensive ends that he's ever coached. Danny Pritchard coached linebackers for a long time at a number of different spots here in northern Delaware, and he knows what he's talking about. Bellamy, a very fine player, explosive, powerful, and has that characteristic that sometimes is hard to teach. Just make a play. Knows how to make a play.
It was a big one. Again, you saw the replay. What a hit by Azir Bellamy. Again, jarring that ball loose in the end zone. Raymond Carter jumps on it, and Odessa looking good here in the third quarter. They have a 2-score lead here at home, and we'll see if the Panthers can try to get back on track here in the ensuing kickoff. Again, both of these teams battling for playoff opportunities, again, in the new football realignment this year here in Delaware.
It'll be interesting to see who comes out as quarterback here for Polytech after this kickoff. We'll see if the first stringer, Balzac, is injured or if they just wanted to make a substitution change to see if they could shake up the offense.
Kickoff is going to take a hop at the 25, unable to corral it was Jenkins. He's going to try to make something happen at the 24, and now you see Laundry come flying in. That might have been a 30-yard toss on that flag.
That's not only a long toss, but that's got to be great eyes from that position to pick up that penalty. Angle, depth, nighttime.
A lot of variables there. As that, I tell you, that flag came flying. And it looks like maybe it might be a personal foul. That's going to be a block in the back. Thank you again, Pat. Is a block in the back against the Panthers. They can't seem to catch a break here as of late.
Well, they've got to start making their own breaks. Yes. Stop making these mistakes, these penalties, or the bad snaps. They've got to really solidify things here and start executing. You probably, in this case, let's run the ball a few times before you go to the air, see if they can establish something to get that confidence back, which they had done a great job in the first half, and I thought at that point their offensive line was beginning to take over the game.
Clock stops, still 7:08 remaining in just the third quarter. Odessa 20, Polytech 8, and again, some phenomenal matchups up and around the state of Delaware. Again, this being one of them. 1st and 10. Now going to tuck it and run it this time was Boxy, the junior, as he does take the field again for a second straight drive for the Panthers. No gain on that carry.
Well, I can't, looking over on the sideline, I can't tell if there's an issue with the starting quarterback, Isaac Balzac, but Tariq Bakady is a really good runner. I haven't seen enough of his throwing in warm-ups to really give you a feel to that, but they've got him in. That was more of a quarterback draw, quarterback scramble situation.
Yeah, Balsarac sitting at the 27 on the sideline. Looks okay. Maybe just a coaching quarterback switch here for Polytech, trying to get a spark. As Bakhti will turn and give to Demarion Lee on the left side. Picks up decent yardage there on second down, so going to set him up with 3rd and manageable.
And that's the kind of play that Polytech's got to be able to run here. They've got to reestablish this run, reestablish their offensive line, maintain the front, and see if they can't put a little pressure on Odessa, tire them out. This is still a long way to go in this game, and they can't panic and just put the ball up in the air or try to get it all back on one play. So right now they need to be able to run the ball and do a much better job defensively and avoid these big penalties.
3rd and 4 for the Panthers. Bakhti going to take the snap. Again, it's just a straight handoff to the left side to Demarion Lee. Going to see if he can do the same thing he did last play. And he does. Similar carry, similar yardage, and a 1st down.
Demarion Lee has impressed me. He's a nice runner. He's got a good feel for where the hole is going to develop. And then when he sees it, he takes it. That was what you fake the speed sweep going right to left. And then you run him on inside zone behind it, which is just a direct handoff out of the pistol. The running back, in this case Lee, comes directly downhill and then just has a little cut back to the right. But it allows the offensive line to start to be more physical, get man-on-man blocking, and reestablish themselves.
Dover, they're going to score an interception. Pick 6, 20-13 in the fourth quarter. Smyrna now just a 7-point lead. You hear the defensive chance here at Odessa. Bachman going to hand off to Lee again. He's going to try to get to that edge on the right side. Now some extracurriculars here in the middle of the field. But not a lot of yardage that time for Lee.
As a runner, you've got to know when to bounce and when not to. When the outside is already occupied by a leveraged defender, what you've got to do is maybe fake him and then try to cut back inside. Too many runners just think with their speed they can bounce it outside and make some play. But if you have a smart defender who's already sitting out there not looking inside, you've just got to be able to take what you can get inside him.
2nd and 9 here, under 4:30 remaining in the third quarter. Bakhti in the shotgun. Going to fire to his left side. That's a good throw. Has his man out in the flat, and now some space in front of him. Makes the defender miss, trying to get close to midfield, and that's where he's going to be brought down. As I believe it was Amir Jenkins. I'm not sure as the player is down near midfield, but a good play and a big one for the Panthers when they needed it.
Well, they certainly did, and Bakhti got the ball out of his hands very quickly. An outstanding block by Polytech split in. Jalen Anderson, a sophomore, out on the edge to help free him for additional yardage.
22 yards on that one it was not Amir Jenkins. Again, not sure about a number on the player down.
9 Demo is down.
Yeah, Bruno 9 Demo. So
he's just got a cramp. Now, what has happened, I thought, throughout the last couple of years, when there's a player with a cramp, you immediately try to get him off the field and then deal with the cramp on the sideline instead of administering any sort of stretching or whatever out on the field, because it slows down the game. And a cramp obviously is not an orthopedic threatening type injury. It's painful.
Kevin Decker.
You need to make sure the game is allowed to resume, and that's the way they try to deal with those situations nowadays.
And they're able to get off to the sidelines, so good to see him up and getting over there. DMA adding on to their lead at St. Mark's. A pick six for the linebacker, big fella Kevin Decker, 65 yards, took it himself. 35-7 Seahawks. Bakhti out of the gun, going to roll him out to the right side, looking for Demarion Lee. That ball's tipped and incomplete.
They go cross motion out of their double slot. They try to flood the right side. Bakhti rolls out quickly with the little short sprint. He's been very accurate with the pass, but excellent coverage in that flat by Odessa's Raymond Carter.
And Carter, the one who was scooped up the fumble for the touchdown just moments ago. Again, Odessa, 2 offensive scores and a defensive score here at home. As Polytech again trying to get a score here, get themselves back into it. Make this one a ball game. 2nd and 10 from the 49. Bakhti going to do a little delayed handoff to Demarion Lee around the right side. Has to make a move. What a play in the open field. Michael Oldiger Banks comes up and makes the open field tackle.
Now, that's an old-fashioned delay draw. The quarterback, Bakhti, rolls almost on a bootleg out to his left, and then he comes back, wraps the ball around to the runner Lee, who then tries to escape. Now, the problem was Odessa got good penetration up the middle, which did not allow him to get directly up the field. He had to bounce outside. Odessa rallied to it, but that's a very creative play. A delayed draw on a wraparound. That's really old-school football.
How about that? We're seeing everything here at Odessa tonight. 3 minutes to go, third quarter action, 20-8, and a big 3rd and 10 upcoming for the Polytech Panthers. Defensive chant out in full force here at Odessa. Bakhti in the shotgun. Tries the hard count. Not going to get the Ducks to jump. Here's the snap. Now they're going to turn, quick toss it out to the left side to Lee, and he is wrapped up after a gain of 2 or 3. And now, Coach, 4th and about 7 or 8 here. You're down 2 scores. What are you thinking?
Well, it does feel just a little bit early to try to go for it here and give Odessa, who's got momentum. I think the wise thing to do would be punt them deep, hope your defense finds a way to hold up, no penalties, and pin them down, and then just trade field position here. Because of 4th and 7, I don't know what play they might come up with, some other trick. They've tried the wraparound, they tried the flood. So I think this is a smart decision.
Balserac just going to hold it, and there's the running kick, going to take a hop and bounce to the 20, and actually going to take a roll to about the 16. So that's where the Ducks will take their next drive, and Balserac, he's back out there, was in on the punt that time.
Well, he must have been out. They just want to shake up the offense, does Coach Gilmore with Bakhti in. So Balserac, good news for Polytech. He's healthy. Did a great job there as he rolled out to the right on his rugby-style punt to buy a lot of time. That gave his coverage team great opportunity to get downfield. A very smart play, got the ball inside the 20. So a lot of smart stuff there that Polytech special teams did.
Final from St. Mark's, 35-7. The Seahawks remain undefeated as they get a big win over a tough Spartan team. Again, that one was a big matchup coming in. We know the Spartans dealing with some injuries, but DMA looks good week after week, Coach.
Yes, they do. I think they're going to be the team to beat in that division, along with Archmere, and we'll see that game, and we'll be doing that game ourselves.
And that ball's on the ground, Coach, and you said it. That's going to be a great one. The ball's on the ground. Orlando unable to handle the snap once again, and Polytech able to hop on it. Big turnover for the Panthers deep in Odessa territory.
He's had some difficulty with the under snap. He is not riding the center. Now, once in a while, I don't want to blame it all on the quarterback. Sometimes the center doesn't get the ball up to the quarterback, but what you've got to do is make sure you keep pressure on the hips of the center as the ball is snapped to you so you can secure it. Obviously, do not want to turn the ball over in that situation. Great opportunity. So the punt looks very wise by Coach Gilmore to give themselves some great field position here.
That's a good point, Coach, is a late addition running on to the field for Polytech. I believe that's a good night. As 1st and 10 at the 18. Bakhti going to fake. The running back wasn't there for the fake and kind of a broken play. That ball came out late, but Bakhti, I believe, down before the fumble.
Well, Bakhti is running a design play there. That is supposed to be a fake to the cross man, which is in the jet sweep. They fake that. They hope the defense jumps towards that play, the fake, and then Bakhti's trying to carry the ball up inside. A really nice play in there by sophomore Ryan Kane of Odessa.
So 2nd and 9 upcoming here for the Polytech Panthers. Again, starting in fantastic field position after the defense able to hop on the loose ball. And Polytech down 2 scores. We're winding down third quarter action. Touchdown here would be huge for the Panthers as Bakhti sits back in the shotgun. Motion for Trotter. Fake the jet sweep to him. Now going to throw. Bakhti looking for somewhere to go, and he's going to have nowhere to go but down as number 23, Brendan Thomas, the freshman, able to grab and sling him down.
Well, Bakhti was trying to get the ball to his flat receiver who had come through in motion, Demarion Lee in the right flat. Now, as a quarterback there situationally, even though nobody was open, you don't want to take a sack there. What you want to do is take a shot down into the end zone, make sure you throw the ball where only your receiver can get it, or you throw it out of bounds instead of taking the loss, because they've had trouble, and this is going to be four down territory, so you don't want to take any losses that obviously aid the Odessa defense.
Loss of 2 as it stands out on the field. 3rd and 11. Need to get to the 8-yard line, make it the 7.
Let's watch Bellamy here coming in from his right defensive end position. He's been a big-time playmaker in these situations.
Here we go. 3rd and 11, and now stoppage down on the field. It's going to be, I believe, a timeout Polytech.
I did not think the back judge was moving his hand, or they were worried about delay, potentially to take a timeout with only 2.1 in the quarter.
So they did end up backing him up.
Yeah, they got the delay then.
So they got the delay.
So he tried to get the timeout, and that's unfortunate. In high school, in most high schools in Delaware, you do not have a 25-second clock.
Yes.
So what you've got to do as the play caller on the sideline, your spotters up in the booth, or your quarterback, you've got to be looking for the back judge to move his hand, and when you've lost track of how many times you either take a timeout or you've got to snap the ball quickly.
And that's a big penalty, Coach. 3rd and 11 and a big point in the ball game. Now it's going to back him up, make this a lot tougher. It's going to be 3rd and 16. Bakhti looking to throw to the flat, and that one almost intercepted. Got a hand on it. Another big-time play by Raymond Carter, and he's been big defensively for the Ducks here tonight.
Well, Carter did a great job of anticipating that little rounded out to the wide side of the field. Bakhti really didn't see where Carter was aligned, so he's very fortunate that that didn't develop into an interception. But a really nice play, anticipating, is Raymond Carter, who's made a couple really nice plays here this evening in coverage.
That's going to take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, 4th quarter action. Polytech trying to get back into it late. They trail Odessa 20-8 on the road.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Sodell Concepts. Today we're at Thompson Island Brewing Company in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Come check us out. Located in the Rehoboth Gateway next to Blue Coast Rehoboth, Thompson Island will follow the Sodell tradition of serving beautiful, simple food that will pair perfectly with our fresh homemade beer. Thompson Island is the perfect place to have dinner with your family, enjoy happy hour with friends at the bar, or spend a day in the beer garden playing bocce ball and ping pong. Thompson Island Brewing Company in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, open 7 days a week. See you soon.
And welcome back inside Delaware Live Sports. Nick Alessandrini, the coach, Bill Harmon, Pat Garianis up in the booth here at Odessa High School. It's the Odessa Ducks versus the Polytech Panthers. We are heading into fourth quarter action. Odessa on top 20-8, and Coach Polytech able to force the turnover. They hop on the loose ball deep in Odessa territory, trying to put together a good drive, and penalties killed them there. A big delay game on third down.
Well, you get the turnover after punting, really making a smart strategic decision. And then on 2nd and 6, you roll your quarterback out into the boundary, and he's just got to be savvy enough, even though he's a backup, to throw the ball away. You don't want to take a loss. And then you compound it with a delay of game on third down, and then you throw a near pick. And this is what happens. This is when you're 2 and 4, you're kind of struggling. You got to get out of those kind of game management situations. And here we are on fourth down.
Big fourth down, Bakhti back in the shotgun. Balsarak's back in the game here on fourth down. Pat Garianis strikes again. He's been phenomenal up here tonight. But Balsarak is back in at the quarterback position. So, Coach, they're going to wait till fourth down and long, and they're going to throw Balsarak back in there. He might have the better arm of the two then.
Well, I think they were going to throw the ball down the field further on that. They bring Balsarak, the starting quarterback, in, who had played all the first half. And this is tough on young people to alternate quarterbacks in. And unless you have a specific game plan for a quarterback, much like the University of Delaware does, and we'll see tomorrow with Anthony Paoletti. But in high school, it's just a little disruptive. Plus, it puts a lot of pressure on the cadence as well.
Balsarak trying to get that one, looking at the pylon for Jalen Anderson. Falls a little bit short. Good defense on the coverage, and then Anderson a little shaken up after the play.
Well, Balsarak showed off his arm there. They were running a wide side of the field out pattern, and that takes a lot of arm strength. Balsarak was on the right hash, throwing it across the field. Not an easy throw. A good pattern there, but unfortunately, just Balsarak could not get enough throw behind him. Jalen Anderson, who was trying to get to at least the line, the first down marker, just a little bit short on the pass. So they turn it over on downs. A great stop by Odessa after the turnover.
All the momentum riding with the Ducks here now, as they did turn it over deep in their own territory. Defense did their job and prevented the score. Now the Ducks got the ball back here, 11:49 remaining in the ball game, up by 2 scores. Now some movement up front on that offensive line for the Ducks. That was number 56, Jeremiah Green, the sophomore. That'll back him up 5.
Nice also to see Chase Beelan back in the game for Odessa. Had taken that hit by the sideline earlier in the game, got himself up, got himself taken care of, back in the ball game. A good sign for Odessa's offense, just more versatility, getting their good players back in the game at the big moments.
1st and 15 now, motion as they'll turn, hand up the middle. And nowhere to go down there, and at the line of scrimmage, good push up front by Polytech as the tackle was made by Connor Bartlett, the senior, one of our players to watch out for tonight. And the carry was Bellamy in on the carry.
Well, they run Keating on a little bit of illusionary motion across the formation. I'd be worried about him too with his big play capability. And then they run the ball back up inside. I think what Odessa should do here is watch for that cadence or the count every time from the back judge. Use as much clock as you can, keep the ball on the ground, and really force Polytech to either use timeouts or make sure they make great tackles and force fourth downs.
They're going to pitch that one to Beelan. He cut it back, tried to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he did so. So 3rd down and 11 as those 2 carries not going for much.
Well, when you're up 12, 2 scores, you want to be sure you have great ball security. You want to stay in bounds at all costs to keep the clock running, or at least force Polytech into using their timeouts. Even though there's 10:40 and running here, that can shorten up pretty quickly if you get 2 or 3 first downs and you utilize the clock to your advantage.
10:30 and ticking here at Odessa High School. Ducks this time going to run counter. And Polytech all over it. That was Beelan again on the carry. And now the punt team going to have to come on for the Odessa Ducks.
Well, they faked the reverse to Keating, who attracts a lot of attention, but a nice job by the front of Polytech not to be confused by that. They run Beelan in behind, and good tackles there. I've been impressed when Polytech has been sharp defensively. They've had a lot of hats around the ball, doing a nice job with their pursuit.
So Vinny Orlando, the quarterback and jack of all trades for the Odessa Ducks, will head back out there to punt this one away. And again, Coach Dan Pritchard very high on Vinny Orlando. He said, put him on your players to watch the next few years. He's going to be one of the better quarterbacks in the state.
Well, he does an awful lot for him. Kicks off, PATs, quarterback, and now their punter. And you love having an athlete as your punter to be able to handle bad snaps. You can run fakes from back there, and obviously I'm sure he's got a great leg swing because of his flexibility.
Jenkins back to receive for Polytech as Odessa let time run off a little bit more before punting it away. Jenkins runs it down at the 45. Great coverage by the punt team for Odessa, and nowhere to run. Maybe 3 on their return. And Polytech will start this drive at their own 48.
Well, right on cue, that snap was a little high, so Orlando had to go up and get it. That's why you need an athlete back there. Did a great job of getting his body underneath of him, a quick 2 steps. Kicks it about 35 yards in the air. That's excellent change of field position from Odessa's standpoint. So a great job by their quarterback/punter.
We'll see who comes out at quarterback now for Polytech, and it's going to be Balsarac, as maybe the Panthers thinking about putting this one in the air a little bit more as they trail by 2 scores. 9 minutes to play. Motion. Balsarac going to turn in hand to Trotter on the jet sweep. He's had success there tonight, trying to get to the edge, but Odessa has done a good job as well. They've been great at containing the outsides, and defensive line and linebackers doing a good job for the Ducks.
You're absolutely right. That was the jet sweep going to field, and a really nice play there by the cornerback, Michael Oliker Banks, setting the edge and also allowing the safety, Ramon Carter, to work kind of a inside-out leverage there to contain that play. That was excellent defense. Even though they got 4 yards on that, it was still well played by Odessa, and it keeps the clock running here as well.
Trotter's first carry of the second half. He had 5 carries for 30 in the first half. 2nd and 6 upcoming now for the Panthers. Balsarac in the shotgun. Here comes the pressure. Can he get it away? He does, and that pick pass is almost intercepted as David Johnston, the sophomore, came flying up from the secondary. But how about the pressure on the back end by Brendan Thomas, the freshman?
Well, they bring Brendan Thomas off the back edge, and on the front side, Azir Bellamy is working up. So they had 2 speed rushers coming in Balsarac's face. He really didn't have much time. That's one where you've got to be sure if you're throwing the ball away, you get it outside. You're outside the pocket. Even in high school, as long as there's a receiver in the vicinity, you can throw the ball over his head.
It's 3rd down. You know what that means, Coach. The Quacks, they're coming out here at Odessa High School. Every 3rd down, you hear the Quacks chant, and now we'll have a timeout down on the field. It's going to be timeout Polytech, and Coach, 8:17 remaining, Odessa 20, Polytech 8. And what have you seen from the Ducks tonight? I think you're both of our first times here at Odessa High School seeing the Ducks play up close. Very young, 9th and 10th graders. What have you seen out of them tonight?
Well, first of all, I'm impressed with the facility. I'm impressed with the organization. Danny Pritchard's done a great job. This is a young team. Let's not forget.
Yeah, absolutely.
Polytech's got juniors and seniors. They don't have any juniors and seniors. These are all freshmen and sophomores. Normally would be playing maybe JV, except for a couple of them, but they've done a great job of getting better throughout the year. They've played, I think, very well tonight. They've minimized their mistakes. They've got versatility, not only in their run game, but their pass game. They've got a quarterback that they can win with. I really like this Keating. Beelan's going to be an excellent player. And then defensively, when you really get a chance to watch this Azir Bellamy, the sophomore, he's an edge setter. He's going to be a dynamic player. So they've got some really good pieces. They're still young, and that means they're only going to get better.
And how about this? Simon Balsarac now enters as the receiver at the bottom of your screen. We haven't seen him on offense tonight. And Isaac Balsarac in the shotgun. They're going to just launch it to the flat, almost intercepted again, and that is who else but Ramon Carter. He has the defensive touchdown and around 3 pass breakups today, but Balsarac just tried to get the ball into the flat there.
They put trips into the boundary, and they have the single receiver, Amir Jenkins, to field. He looks to him right away. They're hoping to get coverage rolled into the boundary. They did not get it. And Ramon Carter has really impressed me. He is really quick to diagnose plays. He's in great position. That was almost a Patrick Mahomes release by Balsarac there, a little sidearm. I think thought he might be able to get it underneath Carter's hands. He was unable to, and now they're forced to kick. But this is going to be the rugby slow play rollout.
And they're going to kick, and that's going to be received at the 30. Has some space in front of him. You're going to see that clip, I believe, around the 40. So that's going to bring it back a little bit. But, Coach, 8:02, you're down 2 scores, and Polytech choosing to punt it away. What do you think about that?
I think it's still the right decision. Their defense played a little bit better the last drive. It was only Orlando's really nice kick that changed the field position. What they've got to do here is just find something offensively to get them going. And I thought at the beginning of this half they had to establish the run. They've really not been able to do that consistently. They haven't gotten Trotter going as he was in the first half. So what they're relying on is Balzarak, a freshman, who's getting some pressure now to make some plays. So if you can't run the ball, then you can't run play action. Then it's just drop back and allows pressure to come and coverage as well. So they've got to come up with something a little different schematically. They almost need a trick play here to get Odessa off balance.
Officials still talking about it at the 45, and we have an update into the third quarter. Salesianum 30, William Penn 15. Wayne Knight just took the ball for 40 yards and a score. Smyrna leads Dover 34-13, just 3 minutes remaining there. Smyrna going to get another victory. Woodbridge over Milford 20-6. That is the final. And again, some big games tonight, and Sussex Central able to hold on. They went up early, Coach. They hold on 21-14 over Cape Henlopen.
I'm going to go back to the Woodbridge situation that we talked about earlier. This is a team that's been down, been in some really close games, and because of Marvin Dooley and his staff and that environment he's created, they found a way to make big plays in the clutch, and they've got players to do it. But it's a little bit more than that. You got to have confidence. You've got to be coached into it, and I really give Woodbridge a lot of credit. They've had to overcome adversity. They've been able to do that, whether they're home or away. And that is a program that has so much tradition and history over the last 5 or 6 years, done so many good things in the Division II that I think they're really going to be setting up for a run between DMA, Archmere, St. Mark's. Those are teams that are really difficult to deal with. Well coached, a lot of good players. DMA's dynamic, but I'll tell you what, coaching against Archmere, there's not probably a more rounded team offensively, defensively, and special teams in the state. So that's going to be a wonderful matchup. Both teams obviously have games to play before that, but that is a matchup that I think a lot of football watchers in the state of Delaware are going to have marked on their calendar. As we are too, which I think is going to be outstanding.
Yeah, again, that class, you got Class 3A, which is phenomenal. That's going to be a battle, but Class 2 is really going to be up for grabs. So many good teams. That's just going to be a phenomenal playoff race there as well. They're going to turn and pitch it to Mac Keating here on first down after the long officiating conference, and no gain there for Keating.
Well, you talked about player to watch, Connor Bartlett of Polytech. He continues to play hard. He is really good with his hands. He works down the line of scrimmage. He's able to get off blocks, a nice tackler at the point of attack. He's had an outstanding game. Even though they're losing, he certainly has helped his defense immensely this evening.
2nd and 11 after the loss of 1 on the first down carry. Again, Polytech trying to get a quick 3-and-out or just a stop in general and maybe trying to get another score here as they're trailing by 2 with just 7.5 remaining. And we have a final, or not a final, late in the third, Middletown continues to extend their lead. They lead 34-7. It took 35 minutes for Braden Davis to complete a pass, Coach, but he just did so to Zaire Tart for 83 yards and a score. Middletown continuing to roll tonight. 2nd and 11, Orlando under center now for the Ducks. He's going to turn, play action, and he's just going to take it on the quarterback bootleg. Not fooled where the Panthers and a few hits near the sideline. Good job that time by number 18, Joshua Deacon, the sophomore, making the play.
And for the young quarterback, he's going to learn from that on the tape. He's got to be sure that when he runs that bootleg out to the right or whichever direction, that he stays in bounds.
I was going to just about
imperative that because they're doing a great time managing the clock,
yes,
letting it run down and then snapping the ball late in the play clock. But then as a runner, you've just got to know, just fall down, stay in bounds, keep the clock running, or you make Polytech use one of their 2 remaining timeouts. And at this point, I think that's something Coach Gilmore should do. He needs more time to get back in this game, not necessarily preserving those timeouts.
Bleen and Bellamy, the 2 halfbacks now behind Vinny Orlando here on 3rd and 10. Under 7 minutes to play in the ball game. Orlando, it's going to be a counter to Keating. Runs into his own lineman, now tries to bounce it outside, and Trotter going to come up and make the play, and now a late flag again. Another 30-yard toss from the 30-yard line into midfield. And these officials got some arms on them, but maybe a face mask as our producer and friend Pat Garianis again may have the best eyes up here in the booth.
Well, he certainly does. Joshua Deacon did a nice job there, the sophomore, of setting the edge and making the tackle, but he may have gotten his hand in the face mask, which unfortunately on that wing counter that Keating was running was going nowhere. That's going to be a huge play, positive play for Odessa. It was going to be a loss or a very small gain, and now they get a first down, moving the ball inside the 40-yard line.
You just mentioned it. Another big penalty against the Panthers made it look as if though they had a shot to maybe get a 3-and-out there, and however going to be a new set of downs now for the Ducks, and on first down that might have been just a quarterback sneak maybe up the gut.
Well, it was, and Orlando did a nice job there of realizing they were offset. He had the opportunity. Many times that is just a touch play. He touches the center and then they go. Sometimes it's a quick count, sometimes you're waiting. But a nice play there by Orlando. He's really been impressive tonight with generally his decision-making. I know he ran out of bounds, but he'll learn from that. But this young man has a lot of skill, and I know he has tremendous upside for Odessa. I've just liked his movement patterns. He throws the ball pretty accurately and has a decent arm down the field, and his versatility in special teams, outstanding.
2nd and 5 after the 5 gained by Orlando on the quarterback sneak as we tick under 6 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. As Odessa trying to run the clock down, earned themselves their first homecoming victory on their first ever homecoming here for the Ducks. And again, this is a big matchup for both of these teams battling for that playoff spot. Turn, quick pitch to Beline on the outside, more Laundry quickly onto the field, and maybe some movement up front. That ball's loose, and that ball's going to be scooped up by Jalen Anderson. And Anderson's down the sideline. This game is not stopped, no whistle. And that's going to go 60 yards for a defensive score. Coach Jalen Anderson, we lost maybe the ball down there on the field, but what just happened?
Well, they ran a toss play into the boundary. Beelan gets the edge and gets downfield. I actually almost thought the ball was down. He was down by contact on the ground, and then the ball came out. And we'll see if this one comes back.
Take a look at the replay here.
It's a little hard to tell on the replay. I think he was down by contact. There was a flag earlier on the play, which many times stops the play before it's run. And we'll just see what ends up being adjudicated here.
They call the flag. It was against the Ducks. Polytech declined it, and it is a defensive touchdown for the Panthers. Scoop and score Jalen Anderson down the right sideline for 60 yards and a touchdown. And, Coach, that drastically changes this ball game. It was looking as though Odessa could maybe run out the clock and on their way to a 28 victory here, maybe add some more points. And just like that, it's a one-possession game. It's still a lot of time left.
Jalen Anderson did a great job there of playing through the whistle. You know, you always anticipate that. He picks the loose ball up. It was very hard to see from our angle what was going on over there, but very opportunistic and just the kind of play that Polytech needed. They needed some sort of break. They'd been making a lot of mistakes. Now Odessa turns around and turns it over.
And they're going to go for two. Balsarac, the quarterback, back out onto the field here for the two-point conversion attempt. They're going to roll him out right, looking for somewhere to go. Fires to the back of the end zone, has his man Amir Jenkins, and the conversion is successful. Balsarac put that right on the money. Jenkins in the back of the end zone had double coverage, able to reel it in.
I think Balsarac's been impressive to me. He's got nice touch. They roll out, they flood the zone. They have three receivers, one really short, one a little deeper in the end zone, and then Jenkins coming across from the backside, going towards the pylon, though he's not right. He's running a crossing route right at the back of the end zone. And Balsarac did a nice job of understanding where he was coming from, kind of puts a little touch pass on him. Many times quarterbacks throw that too hard. It becomes low. It gets tipped. Nice job there of understanding exactly the right trajectory to throw the ball.
Balsarac, no touchdown passes, but he's got two-point conversions thrown here tonight. And just like that, with 5:20 remaining, it's a 20-16 ball game. And a few moments ago, it looked very damper for the Polytech Panthers, if you will. And just like that, a defensive return for a touchdown after having no offensive rhythm. And they're right back in this one and gives the defense a little bit more life here as well.
Well, it's got to do that, and this is important here that they kick the ball deep and they go cover it to force Odessa to get 2 or 3 first downs in a row to try to run the clock out. Polytech has 2 timeouts remaining. They're down 4. They're not a field goal kicking team, so that wouldn't even matter if they could get in position, kick one, and then get the ball back again for an onside. So they're looking to find a way to get the ball back, put pressure on Odessa and score. But, boy, what a better way to get back in the game with a great, what I would call just heads-up play by Jalen Anderson to pick that loose ball up and sprint down the sideline, not worrying that, hey, it looked like he was down. He was playing through the whistle.
They're going to kick it off into the tee, a short one, fielded at the 30, but Keating lost his footing, and he'll head down at the 34. So that's where the Ducks will come out and start this drive. Coach, 5:17, you're up 20-16. Again, very casual on offense. Running clock did a good job last possession. Does anything change now? It's only a one-score ball game.
No, I think you do the same thing. You were on track. You just, unfortunately, turned the ball over at an inopportune time. So they'll utilize the clock. They need to stay in bounds. They obviously need to really emphasize ball security. Two things that you do as a runner. You are always trying to get positive yardage, but if there are a lot of people around and you think you're going down double the ball, or if you see tacklers coming in, descending on you, make sure you don't get stood up where that second tackler can come in and possibly dislodge the ball. So sometimes being a smart runner means to just take what you've got and go down because you're ahead, you have the ball, and you want the clock to run.
Orlando this time going to turn, give up the middle. And Bartlett in on the stop once more for the Panthers as that carry went to David Johnson, I believe his first carry of the evening.
Now, Johnson's been relatively quiet. Came in as their fourth or fifth running back, utilized in different ways, a good defender. Beelan and Bellamy and others, Keating, of course, have run the ball a little bit more, but they get an opportunity there with a straight-ahead run play, forces Polytech to take a timeout. I think Coach Gilmore's doing a great job. Conserve as much of the game clock as you possibly can. You've just got to do it. Some coaches, if they get 5 or 6 yards on first down, they're not going to call it. Well, you don't know what's going to happen on second or third down. Otherwise, you could run another minute, maybe a minute and 10 seconds off, and now you don't have nearly as much time. So I think this is smart strategy here, especially when you have only 2 timeouts remaining and you're down by a full score. You've got to score a touchdown here to get this win.
Did pick up good yardage there, as you mentioned, Coach, on first down on the first carry of the game for David Johnson. Gave him 5 yards, and now 2nd and 5 for the Odessa Ducks. We'll see what they do here. Still 5:10 remaining in the ball game, and again, a final Sussex Central 21 and Cape Henlopen 14. As Cape, I believe, still looking for their first victory of the season. Sussex Central, that young team, able to rebound and get a nice win this weekend. So we're about set to get underway after the timeout. As Orlando going to be under center. He's going to have 2 backs behind him. It's Johnston and I believe Bellamy. 2nd and 5. Motion and some movement up front on the Odessa offensive line, and that's going to back them up 5.
Penalties have hurt each team in different ways and at different times. Here, this illegal procedure, just movement because of the motion. Sometimes a young lineman will anticipate the count. He's trying to get his blocking assignment fulfilled. They're going in motion. Now, the clock was stopped there because of the timeout. But as an offensive lineman, you've got to wait for that cadence because you can ill afford any more of those penalties.
Handoff right up the middle to Bellamy, and he picks up the lost yardage after the false start. So that's going to set up 3rd and 5, and now another timeout for the Panthers, and a big 3rd down here for the Panther defense.
Well, interestingly enough, they're signaling timeout Odessa.
Oh, interesting.
I think they want to get now what I would have recommended is get in the huddle, let the play clock run all the way down, and then utilize a timeout, knowing you're not going to snap the ball. Or, if nothing else, then force Polytech to use their last timeout. You get it either way. What you've lost by calling it so early, you've lost the optionality of the situation.
So either way, clock stopped now with 5:03 remaining in the ball game. Again, we are at Odessa High School, our first broadcast here at Odessa High School, and will not be our last. Beautiful facility as we're able to pull in, again, our first time here, and a beautiful campus for the Ducks. And like you mentioned earlier, the spirit here so high here on homecoming. You got the quacks going on. You got the Odessa signs all over, and the Go Ducks as you walk in under the stadium. A beautiful stadium.
That really
to play.
caught your eye, didn't it? That
really
that
did.
entrance.
I did. I liked it.
I think you have a little Oregon blood in you. Well, you're right about that. And when you look around in the stands, everybody's got Odessa gear on. It looks like you're at a Oregon
really
Ducks
does.
game out in Eugene. But that's great. It's great to see this kind of spirit. A high school game, Friday night lights, exciting for the kids, exciting for the parents and the fans and the administration. They've done a really nice job organizationally down here at Odessa. A lot of credit to that administration.
Johnston in motion on 3rd down, and I'm not sure if he lost the snap again. I believe Orlando couldn't handle that snap on 3rd down.
Well, they have had some trouble with the quarterback-center exchange. And, again, a name that we've called often tonight, Connor Bartlett, right up there in the fray. He's done an excellent job from Polytech's defensive standpoint.
Well, Coach, 4th down, 4:40, clock continues to tick. A 4-point lead for the Ducks, and it, for the moment, looks as if though the offense may stay out on the field.
I'm going to correct not necessarily us, but the officials. They initially, on that timeout earlier that we were commenting on, said it was Odessa calling it, but now the scoreboard shows that Polytech called it, which would have been the obvious call. So we just got bad adjudication there, or maybe I should have been smart enough to realize Polytech would have taken the timeout.
I believe that's the 2nd timeout of the half. And now Odessa's going to take a timeout, Coach, excuse me, with 4:11. So timeouts galore here in the 4th quarter at Odessa High School. And we'll stay right here for it. A big 4th down upcoming for Odessa. Just for the moment, at least right now, before they took the timeout, the offense was back out on the field. Not sure what we'll see when we take it out. We could see Orlando back there, and then who knows what could happen.
Now, they might have tried to get them to jump off sides, and I'm still not sure would have given them a 1st down. It had been very short, 4th and 1, and they might have gone for it then. But I think what they're talking about now is they may try to do that again. But if it's the punt team out, let's make sure we have our protection scheme down. Center, make sure you get a great snap. We've got Orlando back there as the punter, and he can really make a play for you in terms of if it isn't a great snap. But imperative here, you do a good job with your initial blocking and then cover down the field. I'd almost recommend here for Odessa, they have got twins back for Polytech. Let's not kick it to anybody. Kick it to the boundary.
And that's going to skip right to him. Orlando does a good job, and not only that, they ran into the kicker, to the punter, so I'm not sure if they're going to call running, roughing. Either way, a big penalty for the Panthers.
And here's the problem, guys. Bad snap. Orlando actually didn't even field the bad snap very cleanly. He's trying to pick it up and make a play. You're coming in as a rusher. And this is one thing we tell our people all the time. Pressure is almost as good as the block. But players so many times get out of control. They don't have their landmark organized. That means about a yard in front of where the punter kicks it from. Now, when you've got a bad snap, that landmark can change. But what you should never do is a punt rusher or somebody coming in to try to block in that circumstance. Never leave your feet because you've lost control of your body. It's almost always a bad result. You teach run through, eyes on the toe, try to take the ball right off the toe with hands together. And unfortunately for Polytech, another one of those inopportune penalties.
They've had some big ones. No one bigger than that one, as it was a 15-yard roughing the punter.
And you can understand the aggressiveness. Hey, we've got to make a play here. We've got to get the block. But you can ill afford, even if you have the block on, to hit the punter once he's in the punting motion.
If you're a Polytech fan, that one hurts. 4:02 remaining here in the 4th quarter. New set of downs for the Odessa Ducks as they try to run. They muffed the snap. Again, that ball was loose as Orlando, again, having issues on the center quarterback exchange. And that's going to be a loss of 3 on 1st down.
I'm not sure what's happening in there, and I think it's so important here that Orlando maybe doesn't vary his count. Maybe the center is having a little difficulty understanding. Just keep the cadence easy. Make sure you stay with it. The worst thing you can do is obviously fumble the ball again, and he's had now, I think, 3 center quarterback exchange issues.
And, Coach, they're going to rush right back to the line of scrimmage. And I'm not sure if you're, again, somebody crossed the line for Polytech. Are they allowed to reset, but a laundry on the field? And this could be another penalty, and that's what it's going to be, neutral zone infraction against Polytech. Not sure if he made contact, did come across the line of scrimmage. And so 2 things to unpack there, Coach. One, Odessa ran right back to the line of scrimmage. They were running a play quick as if they were down a score. And then you have the neutral zone infraction from Polytech on the other side of the ball. An interesting last play.
I think it's called youth. It's just not having all that experience, that savviness to understand how to close out a game, and that's what you've got to learn. And they will. Danny Pritchard will get this team going on that, but they really need to settle their nerves down, stay with it here, and make sure you at least can get the snap off. They did a great job there of drawing Polytech offsides, who's now continued to hurt themselves with these penalties.
And how about that, Coach? On cue, the 4th fumble from under center on the center quarterback exchange with Vinny Orlando. There seems to be some type of issue there, and he's going to look to the sideline. He's screaming something over to head coach Dan Pritchard. But yet another.
So here's what I would recommend. It's 3rd down. Let the clock run down. Call a timeout. Bring your center over to the side and practice some of those snaps. There's some issue going on. I can't quite tell from this angle whether it's the quarterback or the center. Let's face it, it's both of them in this situation when you've had that many. So just do that. Just bring them over, and it's just like practice. Just take 5-10 snaps on the sideline to make sure everybody's doing the right thing.
So 3rd and about 7. We've had back-to-back muffed snaps. Odessa will take a timeout, Coach, as you talked about.
Well, let's see if they do what I said. I'm going to bet they're talking to him and not practicing. Or maybe what you do is you get your second center in. I know that wouldn't necessarily be the right thing. I'm not blaming the center of Odessa for the problem because it could easily be the quarterback. And they're
Coach,
actually, in fact,
how about that?
Doing what we recommended.
Coach, how about you know your stuff, don't you?
It was a lucky guess, Nick. But more importantly, here's what the center's got to do. He should worry much less about blocking, and they may be running some inside plays. His job is to get the ball back up to his hips so the quarterback can secure it. And again, this is youthfulness. This happens at all levels. You hate to see it, and especially when it compounds itself, and I think that's what happens. It happens once or twice, and now somebody gets a little too nervous or upset, gets maybe angry at somebody, and you've just got to settle your nerves down, stay with your fundamentals and your techniques that you've been taught.
Coach, clock stopped right now for the moment at 2:11. Again, at 20-16, one-score ball game. It is 3rd and long for Odessa. I believe Polytech is out of timeouts, so they can't stop the clock
According to the scoreboard,
According
and
to the
unfortunately
scoreboard.
the way the official adjudicated the one earlier, it would have left Polytech with 1, but I just think that was the wrong direction being pointed out.
Braden Simmons into the ball game now for Odessa. Again, we've had back-to-back muff snaps. Coach, they're going to line him up in the shotgun here on 3rd and long. Johnston in motion, Orlando in the gun. This time they're going to get it. It's going to be quarterback rollout around the outside on the quarterback keeper. Picks up about 4 or 5, and now 4th and short. Polytech can't stop the clock, 2 minutes and ticking.
Now that's kind of a daring play by Danny Pritchard. After having trouble with your quarterback under, you would go back with a center that maybe has had some issues, but guess what? It was a perfect snap. Orlando rolls out left. He did have the ball in the wrong hand, but he did a good job there of staying in bounds. They're going to let this clock run down, and I'm not sure if they'll use their last timeout, maybe take a penalty and punt it because of the field position, or maybe they think, hey, we want to be the aggressor here, and we're going to go for it on 4th down. Now, with the snap issues they've had, I'm not sure that might be the best strategy. Kick it deep and make Polytech go 90 yards.
And it looks like they'll take their last time out of the ball game. Special shout out to Marty Sheehan. He, again, letting us know Cape got their first win last week as they beat Cesar Rodney. So Cape does have a win under their belt and not winless yet on the season. Thanks, Marty. And again, 122 here in front of us, 20-16. Odessa takes their last timeout. It's 4th down here. Coach, you just talked a little bit about it. You can punt it away here with Vinny Orlando, though the last 2 snaps to the punter have also skipped off the ground, so something else to worry about if you're a Duck fan here at homecoming. But it's going to be an interesting final 122 here from Odessa.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going through Coach Pritchard's mind right now. He's seen his quarterback center exchange issue. He's had a couple bad snaps on punts. He was the beneficiary, he and his team, of the roughing the kicker that gave them the big first down. So I think this is just a matter of him feeling, hey, momentum here. Do I want to play it kind of by the book and punt it? Or do I want to be the aggressor and go ahead and attack? Now, something else he can do in their punt formation, he could put Orlando in play and run a fake. So we'll see here what the strategy is. My opinion would be to kick the ball deep, not allow them an opportunity, kick it out of bounds. They'll have 1 118, 117 with no timeouts to go, and they haven't really shown the big play capability in this half.
They skip it to him yet again. Anderson back to receive it. He's going to get it off a hop at the 10, or no, he's going to actually let it go, and then he's going to pick it up. Made a late decision to pick it up, breaks a few tackles, and he's brought down at the 20. So a delay there from Anderson, but he does, in fact, pick it up and gain a few yards on the return.
Well, I agree. Anderson probably would have wanted, when he looks at the film, field that right away and just get up the sideline, because there was only one coverage man there for Odessa, because they chose, and I thought Orlando did the right thing, he kicked it to the wide part of the field away from the Twins coverage. But the problem there is, unless you get expansion from your contained man and your tackle, you don't have a lot of numbers there. Why not kick into the boundary where there is less room, and maybe even kick it out of bounds and you don't even allow a return? So something there strategically from a special team standpoint. But nevertheless, we've got two wides here on each side for Polytech.
Balsarac drops back and to launch it deep into double coverage. Jenkins went up to play defense as he thought it was going to get intercepted, and that ball might have had a chance to get to him there as it sails just a little bit over his head.
Well, Balsarac has really shown some good arm strength. We saw a play earlier in the game where he threw it across the field for about 40 yards. He's got a good physique on him, a very physical-looking quarterback. He's got good range, and Jenkins a good deep threat there, trying to hit him on a deep post going right to left.
Well, here we go, Coach. 1:05 remaining. Odessa up 20-16 over Polytech. Polytech has to take the football 80 yards for the go-ahead score. And, again, playoff implications maybe here tonight at Odessa High School. A big drive and maybe one of the more important drives of the year upcoming for the Polytech Panthers.
No, absolutely. They've got a freshman quarterback who's back installed. If nothing else here, maybe you work the sidelines and try to gain 5-6 yards and get out of bounds right away.
Balsarac out of the gun, takes the snap again, just going to launch it deep, looking for Nyamundo, and I believe he brought that one in close to the 40.
Well, that was a little bit deeper than I thought they might have, but a nice job there by Nyamundo to get himself positioned. A nice throw. This is where Balsarac has really impressed me with his touch. He knows the levels of the throw. There are typically three levels a quarterback looks at. First level is that short flat. The second level might be the hardest because you've got to develop some touch. And then the third level are obviously the posts and the deep fade routes where you just throw it up in the air and let the receiver try to run under it. So a nice job there at the second level. One of the more difficult throws is that deep out for a quarterback at any level. Well done there by Balsarac, the freshman from Polytech.
9 of 18, 95 yards, 2 interceptions, 2 two-point conversions for Balsarac. 58 seconds to play, 1st and 10 from their own 40. Here comes the pressure. Going to have to step up in the pocket. He got rid of it. That ball's up and into his receiver's hands. That's Amir Jenkins, and another first down deep down the field for Polytech.
Tremendous pressure there by Johnson from the right side, and then Ryan Kane, the sophomore from the left side for Odessa, the defensive lineman, up in his face. Balsarac with a great throw under pressure.
There we go. No huddle offense. 1st and 10 from the 38. Balsarac dropping back. Again, here comes the pressure. Launched down the middle of the field, and that ball's intercepted, and that's going to be the ball game. Odessa able to make another play on defense, and that's going to get the Ducks their win here at home on homecoming.
Noah Norman, their safety, did a great job of patrolling the middle of the field, read the eyes of the quarterback as he threw the ball down the middle, taking a shot. And an outstanding play, a very timely play for Odessa, who had to overcome some stuff. Very impressed with Polytech's resilience here to keep battling back, make a big defensive play to get back in the game. Had a couple nice pass completions here, and then ultimately an outstanding play by the back end of Odessa to give them a big homecoming win.
Well, Coach,
unless they fumble the ball on this, unfortunately, on this snap, I'm sure they're going to be very tough. No timeouts remaining for Polytech, so they cannot stop the clock.
And what a game we've had here tonight. And it looked as though maybe Polytech was going to put together their most successful drive of the ball game there for a second. And again, that ball just intercepted as Orlando will take a knee, and that should do it. Defense came up big for Odessa, and they needed it tonight. And a big interception there to seal the ball game. And the Ducks, Coach, going to have their first ever homecoming win on their first ever homecoming.
Boy, a really fun night down here. Great atmosphere, as we have talked about. An outstanding game, just fun, a lot of emotion. Yes, there were mistakes and penalties and this and that, but this game had a little bit of everything in it. And these young men on a Friday night lights here in Odessa really, I think, gave a great show to the fans. An outstanding win for the home team, Odessa, who are really trying to establish themselves. Coach Gilmore and Polytech I mean, they're obviously going to be disappointed, but I thought they showed a lot of character, finding a way to make a defensive play when their backs were to the wall, and then offensively moving the ball in the last minute of the ball game and just came up a little short. But a lot of fun here tonight, an outstanding win for Odessa. This is a team that's clearly on the rise, and Coach Gilmore at Polytech, I know he's going to be very disappointed. He's got things to correct over there, but they showed some real resilience and perseverance.
Again, Odessa gets the win. Some stats from tonight. As Vinny Orlando, he went 4 of 6 for 55 yards, 2 interceptions, had a couple carries for 20 yards. Matt Keating, he had 4 carries for 34 yards and a touchdown. He also had one catch for 30 yards and a touchdown. He scored both of the touchdowns for the Odessa Ducks. Ramon Carter had a defensive touchdown. Jalen Anderson had a defensive touchdown for Polytech in a big-time game. Coach, before we get off the air here, if I had to let you pick one player of the game, who would you go with here tonight?
Well, that is a really good question. I'm going to go with Keating. I thought he was really outstanding. He had that wing-back counter play. He had the wheel route, crossing route. He did a lot of good things. I was also very impressed with Bartlett from Polytech. I thought as a linebacker, he did a great job, hung in there, rallied his team at different times. Some really nice play. Orlando's going to be a really good quarterback, but I'm going to go with Keating tonight.
20-16, the Odessa Ducks get the homecoming win here at home. They advance to 3-4 on the season and in better position for that playoff spot. Polytech falls to 2-5.